Episode 22 of the Pit Racing Podcast. Welcome back. This is December 20th, about 7 p.m. Central Time. It's going to be the last episode of the show for 2022, coming up on our 2-year anniversary in January of 2023. That's pretty cool. Appreciate everybody who's kept tuning into the show over the last couple of years. We got a lot more coming for you. We got a hot episode tonight, too. Chan Baker in the house. Quick shout out to our sponsors, SSI Decals, Marshall's Racing, Wilson Power Sports, Cadillac, GMC, Chevy. Head up to Stillwater at the Wilson Boys. If you need a new dirt bike, new truck, whatever it's going to be, they got it for you. Janiber's Motorsports Park over in Okmulgee, Firepower Parts, Fly Racing, Mika Metals. Going to be another good one for you tonight. Pit Racing Podcast rolls along, baby.
I forgot to turn my gas on and I was doing a backflip.
You never knew who might show up in the pro class.
I mean, it would have been a perfect pass, but...
Allegedly, it would have been a perfect
it would have. Like,
We do what we do.
Yeah.
X, Quad God, Chase Snap.
pit racing, pit golfing.
Pit racing.
Pit racing, boy.
Shit.
Presented by SSI Decals, this is the Pit Racing Podcast coming at you right now. The Pit Racing Podcast is also brought to you by Up Top Roofing and Restoration in Oklahoma City. Hit up Top Roofing down in OKC for any roofing needs you may have. Tornado blows off your roof, or maybe you just got a 20-year-old roof you need to get restored. Hit up Mark Blackwell down at Up Top OKC. They're going to get you hooked up, and you can get a hold of them at mark@uptopokc.com, and also get you their phone number here shortly. I don't have that pulled up at the moment. We'll get it back around to them. Chan Baker in the house. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just coming in to see you guys.
Yeah, it's about time. What is this, like the 4th time we've invited you?
Yeah, about the 4th time or so.
Always got better plans. I just told DeHeap when he was in Tulsa, he's stopping in to see some of his contacts in town. Local prospects.
Local prospects, yeah. I had to do some running around for some buddies, ship them some parts.
Yeah. So where are you staying at nowadays? Are you training at Reynard's mostly?
Yeah, mostly training at Reynard's. I've been back on the bike for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good.
Are you staying out there full time, or you just go out for the day when you're there?
No, I'm out there full time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. You think that's how's that been in terms of? Or wait, I guess the better question is, how long have you been training there?
Ooh, I started training there in 2018.
Okay.
Like around springtime, 2018, right when I came back from my ACL. Robbie has helped me tremendously. He's, in my opinion, one of the best trainers out there.
Yeah. Would you say there's any particular aspect of your technique, riding, mentality, whatever it may be, that he's benefited you in, or is it just everything's great?
Everything's great all around, but definitely my technique, my line selection, corner speed, roll speed through the corners, all that good stuff. He's so good.
Yeah. And you can't beat Reynard Training Facility in terms of track to train on, right?
Yeah, he has the tracks dialed every day, no matter what time of year it is, no matter what we're riding, no matter how many of us there are, he's putting in the work for us.
Us old retired boys are always sweating it a little bit when we have to go out there for the state race.
The state race gets gnarly out there. I love the week after the state race. We train on it all week. He doesn't touch it, but he waters it, and it is so much fun.
Yeah, I bet. So we'll get into more of like where you're at and where you're going for the people that listen to this that maybe not know who you are. Most Oklahoma people probably know who you are, but so moving forward, I know you've been making some pretty good impact the last year or so. Been running some outdoors, been trying to make some moves, get into the big boys a little bit more. And I guess if you had a Post-it note on your fridge with your goals for the next 2 to 3 years, what would it say on it?
Ooh, next 2 to 3 years. I want to do pretty good this year. I'm going to race Arena Cross this year in 2023. I was going to race the full series, but I got hurt, broke both my collarbones, and collapsed both lungs right before the opening 2 rounds, and then they took a month off, luckily, so I was able to – I've been training and going to get ready for it, and the first one will be January 6th. I'll run, hopefully, the rest of the series, and then I'll race Freestone – Spring Nationals, and then some outdoors this year, and should be a pretty fun year. My goal for outdoors this year is to steadily top 10 every moto, or not top 10, top 15, and climb my way, try to get to the top 10, but it's pretty hard when you don't got the factory bikes
right.
and the support.
In the 250 class for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like to crack into some 450 outdoors, maybe.
Yeah.
I like my 450.
Yeah, I bet.
Ajax Cowie 450s rip.
Yeah, I know Supernaut back in the day could have set his 250 on fire and not given a shit about it.
Yeah, everyone loves their 450 more than 250.
Yeah. So those are some pretty specific goals. Any more broad goals like, I'm trying to be riding for factory Yamaha by 2025 or anything like that?
Yeah, I'd like to get a ride. I got to focus on the results first, and that'll come with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just steadily build every year. The next 3 years, just build till I'm one of the top guys.
I hear you. So what's the motivation for doing arena cross? Like, why would you do that instead of going like the Supercross Futures route? Because I assume you're still eligible for that, right?
Yeah, I'm still eligible for that. I'd like to get in some futures if I can get into them, but arena cross is just so I can get used to racing in a close environment where you're really close with those guys, and there's not near as much separation in that stuff as there is in outdoors. So I have to get worked into being really precise and not making mistakes and all that good stuff on that stuff.
Yeah, there's probably more money to be made in arena cross than Supercross Futures, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's probably a big motivator too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So I guess for one thing we always do with our guests is let them kind of talk about where they got started and how they got to where they are. A lot of people that have been around local motocross for a long time have known who you are. I'm sure we've known who you are for a long time. You were a little kid when we were kind of getting out of the sport at a really competitive level. But just how'd you get into racing, and then what brought you to where you're at now?
Yeah, so my dad was a pro, and I don't know when he started racing. He started racing when he was like 14 or so. He was a pro. My mom used to race. She raced Loretta's and amateur national stuff.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was, from what she says, she was pretty good. I've heard she was pretty fast too. So, but yeah, they started me riding really early. They owned 59th and Douglas, what Reynard's is now, and then they had a Yamaha dealership, so I was pretty much, it was in my blood.
Right.
Born straight into it. They put me on a bike when I was 18 months old in a diaper, training wheels, throttle would barely turn. It started from there, and it's gotten to here.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah. So did you start out just going to state races, going 59th? Like,
Unfortunately, I never got to ride 59th.
yeah, neither did we.
Really?
Yeah, because we were more Tulsa, centered, and so going to 59th. I mean, like the Dr. Pepper race that everybody always talks about, that was kind of before our time, so we didn't really get to do any racing down there either.
I'm pretty sure I rode there raced there like one time.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
I was on 60s.
From what I've seen, like the Terra Firma videos, Robbie and out there, it looked pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I wish I would have gotten to ride it, but City had other plans for that.
Yeah, Jeremy actually tried to lease that ground again to open his new track. He's got that place in Del City now.
Yeah.
But Tinker owns it.
Yeah, and they're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah, he said they may have some plans for it because they're building some kind of new building down there, and he said it may go on top of where 59th used to be. But after we started having all these older guests in here that told hours worth of stories at 59th and Douglas, I drove by there because we don't live too far from there. Mm-hmm. And because I had never even been by there, and you can still see the old scoring tower. It's pretty cool.
When did you drive by there?
Probably like a year ago.
Are the big tunnels still out there, like the concrete ones?
If they are, I didn't notice them.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd notice them. They were sitting in the middle of the field, like right by the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last time I went out there, my mom took me out there. I was like 12 or so, and she drove by. She's like, "Get your bike and ride." I'm like, no, I'm not. We're not going to get arrested right now for riding
yeah.
Tinker Air Force Base.
Yeah, no kidding. So I guess what did you start out racing at if you weren't going to 59th?
I started out racing. My first race was an ochre race at Reynard's, and then
an ochre race.
Yeah, ochre race actually. I raced an ochre race for the first time since then this year, and it was a blast.
Yeah,
it was so much fun. I want to do another one if I can line up my schedule to get to one. But started racing there, and then started eventually racing state series races, and then that spiraled into racing nationals and stuff. I think my first national was Ponca in 2008, and then ever since then it's been like, okay, we're going to this national, this one, and this one.
Yeah.
So.
Ponca in 2008. I think that might have been the first year I raced it on 80s. I didn't go to a national till I was on 80s.
Yeah. I don't remember it too well. I remember I hit the VIP and the finish line when I was on a 50 when I was like 8. And that was pretty big for a 50.
Yeah, the finish line, well, the VIP, shit. That had like a roller and stuff in front of it back then. That's gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember you being a pretty tiny kid, so.
Yeah, I was a little kid, but I was a fat little guy.
Yeah. Yeah, shit. I don't think I ever noticed a 50 hit the VIP, did you? I mean, I saw a bunch of them hit the finish line, but
I remember I think a couple hit the VIP. I remember the finish line, they would hit it, and then some of them would kind of overclear it or case it, and that was a big deal on a 50.
Yeah.
They weren't riding it out.
I saw this kid one time. It was a blue bike. I don't know what brand it would have been at the time.
Pelini?
Yeah, it would have been a
probably.
Pelini. Yep, exactly. I forgot about that brand. But he comes up like about a half a bike length short on that old finish line and just front flips like 4 times.
On a 50, that's death.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't good on any bike really with the way that landing was, but it was definitely bad on
Well,
a
I
50.
mean, that was kind of back when Ponca was like a huge face and a tiny landing.
Yeah.
And on a 50, like that's like big time timing.
And I remember all the landings being pretty peaked, like pretty steep on either side.
Kind of just like it's like a small roller.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, definitely unforgiving on a 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, the VIP, I remember that thing being pretty steep. I don't remember my first time hitting it. I just remember jumping it, and it was like pretty pointed.
Yeah. You had to be pretty precise on a smaller bike.
Yeah, like on a big bike or something, it's like you hit it and you're coming way too fast for it, but it's so small and so short or so steep, it just, immediately cock your front end forward.
Yep.
You just kind of lean up on it, but yeah, on a 50, that'd have been a double.
Yeah.
And it'd have been rough,
Mm-hmm.
from just the riding.
Yeah. I think I was on 80s first time I hit that, and I was scared.
I remember Baggett one year hit it from the roll line, which was dope.
Talking about the either or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, what'd they call that?
Either or?
We called
Yeah.
it the either or.
Either or. I've heard people call it the optional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never hit that thing.
I think Chap always called it the optional.
Is
Seems
that
like
the
a
jump?
chappy move.
Is that the jump where the track is now? You the first corner,
Right off the
and then
finish
you do
line?
That
Yeah.
next corner.
Yeah.
No, right off the start.
Right off
Right
the
next
start.
to the start.
Like if you hit the start, make that sharp left, then it's right there.
It's kind of those two rollers right there.
That was the either or.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you never ride that track, Chase?
No, I did. But it was like built up on the right side and then like a
Yeah.
roller on
Yeah.
the left.
Which I don't know that there was any point of going over the roller side unless you were
Baggett, and you jump it from that side, yeah.
Yeah. I remember Stroop doing that too.
Or if you weren't
Probably.
jumping it,
Yeah.
you'd be better off going on
Yeah, like a 50 something, like a 60 or whoever ain't
Well,
gonna jump
yeah.
it, you're not gonna want to go off the peaked side.
That's true. Yeah.
Yep.
I think the only time I rode that track when it had that was we went down there and the track was halfway covered in snow. It was just it wasn't a open, like it was just a day you could show up and ride.
Yeah. They're open year round like that.
Yeah,
But
and
the
it was,
track's
it wasn't
not
prep or
prep at all.
nothing. Yeah, it was sketchy.
I remember this was a long time ago. I was on 60s. I think it was a state race or it was something random. It wasn't a national, but it was hot as shit. Like normally it seems like when you're at Ponca, it's hot as shit back in them days. And some kid rolls up on a 60 with no shirt on, just a chest protector. Just ready to go.
Shit, boy.
I can't remember who it was, but I remember it.
That's sick. I wish more people would do that. Let's normalize that.
I mean, as thin as jerseys are anymore, it ain't much different.
Yeah, really, it's not protecting.
I've got
mean,
this old Thor jersey in my closet that's like a blanket. Like it's so thick and it's like cotton,
Someone had a Fox Carmichael jersey the other day from the Split Fire Pro Circuit days,
Yeah.
and I touched it. And I'm like, oh my God, Gears came a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was literally like t-shirt material.
Yeah.
And it was so hot. I remember I started out racing bicycles, and that's what my gear was. It was like that
Yeah.
t-shirt material, and it was so hot.
I know
Yeah.
back then too, I'd roll up to Extreme World on any given Tuesday, and there'd be some shredders out there in pants.
Oh, like jeans?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of locals that were shredders, but they just have pants on and boots.
I love those guys.
There was a guy at Del City the last time I was there that had jeans and cowboy boots on out there ripping around. And Jeremy, like his mentality, like that's the kind of people he wants coming to his facility. So he was like, fuck yeah.
And I'm pretty much cool with anything, but I'm putting boots on
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
if I'm on a big bike.
Like, if you ever worn cowboy boots, like the top of them, I don't even really know what they're for, to be honest, other than riding a horse. They
Cowboy
ain't
boots?
serving you no protection.
Shit kickers. You don't want that shit getting in your shoe.
Like, because they make like snake boots, you know, if you're going to walk through some thick grass, you're worried about getting bit by a snake, but it's like tough material. It ain't that leather. And snake go right through that stuff. Chase, you're a little quiet over there.
When you said snake boots, I was picturing
There's a snake in my boot.
That's the first thing. I was thinking snake skin boots, and then you're saying boots to prevent snakes from biting you.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like high water, like rubber boots, basically.
Gears were turning up here for a minute.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to go down a 10-minute road about snake boots, but
we've done worse.
Yeah, that's true. So you're riding for Ajax Kawasaki now?
Yes, sir. I started riding for them right after outdoors this year.
Yeah.
I really wanted to get on the Cowie. I've liked the Cowie for years and really loved it. So I approached them, and they're good enough to help me out. So
yeah, those are some good guys down there. We live in Hera, and we lived in Moore before that, and so I've always gone to Ajax for parts and stuff, just, you know, quick shit.
Yeah. You lived in Hera?
I do. I live there now.
No way.
Yeah.
Have you ever ridden that sand spot that I ride all the time?
So I haven't been down there. I've been by it, heard a lot about it, but yeah.
Dude, you got to ride that. It's so fun.
Yeah, Kobe Sharp and a couple other the guys that we're always talking to, they were down there recently. But I was out of town, or I would have gone down there.
I think you were there that day.
Yeah, I was there that day.
Oh, were you there?
We're in a group message on Facebook, and they were posting videos. And so I was just telling Austin the other day, I said, we need to go, because it's 3 minutes from your house?
Yeah, it's not far.
Yeah, it's like maybe a quarter mile from downtown, too.
Yeah, like we're 5 minutes from downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. We rode there 2 months straight doing 30-minute motos in 2021 during the summertime. We called it like the Oklahoma Lommel. It was gnarly.
Yeah.
There were holes. There's a picture of Austin sitting in a hole that was a flat surface when we first started riding there, and you can barely see the top of his head.
Wow.
Yeah. It got chewed up. It was so sick.
That's gnarly.
I love that rough sand stuff.
Yeah. I'm not a huge sand guy, but it would be good training.
Yeah, it's that place especially because the sand's so like it's riverbed sand, so it
really fine.
You let off that throttle and the front end's gonna tuck.
Yep,
got to carry your speed.
Yeah, Kobe, didn't he say he didn't even get the bike out of the truck?
No, Kobe rode.
Oh, did he? That was a different. A couple days later.
Oh, was it?
Different track.
Yeah, I don't know. That group message always has so many fucking things in it. I never know what's going on.
Keep up.
I can't remember where I was. I think I was at a show or something that night or that day. Couldn't come out there because I was like, fuck, you guys are in my hometown. I'd be down. Well, it ain't my hometown, but my town. Yeah, I definitely would have been out there.
Yeah. Tried to get Kobe to do. I was doing 3 30-minute motos that day, and I tried to get him to do one with me.
He probably didn't have enough cigarettes with him for something like that, dude.
That's what I said. You need a cigarette and a beer to loosen up, man.
Yeah. He's 20 minutes in. He's ripping a stove, going around the corner.
Oh, man. He's like, I got 15 minutes in me max.
Yeah.
So.
30 minutes in that kind of shit. That's a long day.
It's smooth, though, so. Smooth right now, so it's a lot easier than it was in 21.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully someone lets me know when they're going out there because I would definitely go out there and fuck around. I mean, shit. It's like a 5-minute drive.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be out there around spring before outdoors and stuff like that, so I'll let you know.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Hey, just leave your jersey at home, ride the bike down there.
Honestly.
Yep. Get you some snake boots.
Yeah.
Right down there.
The tire on my back tire on my bike could stand some replacing, so I'll just do some road motos on the way down there.
You won't be going anywhere in that sand with that tire.
Yeah, right.
And, I had a fresh tire on, and Isaiah Clark was out there with us that day, and he was driving so good. He had the paddle, the scoop on, and it makes such a big difference out there and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never ridden with a paddle tire. It looks pretty cool though.
Yeah, I run paddle tires just about everywhere. Like when we had TMX, I'd run.
Oh, you're talking like the Dunlop paddle tire.
Dunlop paddle tire, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were talking like a full fucking Glamis sand tire.
No, not the full one. We're talking the Moto one.
Okay.
Yeah, I run those everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of people run them at Loretta's now, and they're becoming a lot more common.
I mean, Loretta's, it makes sense, but
I tried to run one at Loretta's, but this year with all the rain and all the washing away, like the dirt was so weird. It was so much harder underneath. Like it was deep as shit on top. And then underneath, you'd get through that stuff, and the wheel would just be spinning. Like coming out of corners, you come out, and you're like, oh, sick, I'm going to drive through this. And you'd about do a 360.
Instantly,
yeah.
traction.
God, I hate that place.
Loretta's?
It looks like those tires too are good right out of the start. I mean, you're getting that extra grip.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they're great for that.
Bite.
Yeah.
Well, depending on the dirt, but a lot of them, if they're tilled up real deep.
Yeah. Like Loretta's, they rip the start every moto. I was debating every single moto that I raced.
Because the start's huge there.
Yeah, huge. It's everything. That track
But
is
then you
a
gotta,
goat trail.
Right.
The track's a what?
It's a goat trail.
Oh, a goat trail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking single track all the way around it.
Yep. I cannot believe they have such a big race at that tiny little track.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, it's the name. It's just been made into what it is,
Yep. It's pretty sick, though. The track's gotten a lot better over the years, but it's so gnarly, and there's so much pressure at that one race. It's crazy. Seems like every year I'm coming into it, I'm like, all right, sick. I'm riding really good, feel really good on the bike, coming into it. I'm like, all right, let's go win this thing. Start mentally preparing, and then 2 weeks before, this year it was a week before, but the last 3 years it's been 2 weeks before, just something goes wrong, get hurt. Like 2020, I did my labrum and rotator cuff. 21, I did my ACL. And then this last year, I did something in my wrist. I couldn't hardly move it for days.
Sounds like maybe the week before Loretta's, you just need to get on the road bike.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Just do like 2 30s a day on the road bike for the week before.
Yeah,
stay off the dirt bike.
Do a couple 2-hour
Wasn't that
rides.
deal with your hand? Didn't you have a crash like with your teammate or something?
Yeah, we were at Cal Classic this spring, and I came up on him and was passing him. He crossed up over the face, and luckily I saw him, and I chopped the throttle, and I thought I had him dodged, but his back brake rotor landed right on top of my hand, cut it open.
His back brake rotor?
Yeah, his rear brake rotor landed right
Basically,
on top of that
he
thing.
landed on his hand.
That was close to being really bad.
I didn't even hit the ground either. Like I ride off the side of the track. He wads up. He's out for 45 minutes. I'm on the side of the track.
Come up to that mic a little bit.
I'm on the side of the track, and I'm like opening and closing my hand. I'm like, something feels weird, and I can feel it click in and pop in, and I look down. It hadn't filled up with blood yet, and I could see my bone. I'm like, oh, that's not good. And so I turn, go across the track, and I see one of my buddies, Kawasaki mechanic on the fence. I ride up to him, and he yells at me. He's like, track goes that way, bud. And I pull up my hand, and he's like, oh, my God. It was crazy. That trip was a trip. It was. I got 2 laps of the first moto in. I was bummed.
At Loretta's?
No, at Cal Classic.
Oh, sorry.
This was 2 weeks before Loretta.
Yeah.
No, this was springtime, right after Spring Nationals this year.
I'm sorry, I got that mixed up with another. So that was your hand, but then you messed up your wrist before Loretta's.
Yeah, I crashed over, at Reynard's, right by the big pond in the canyon. It goes roller, 180 right roller. I came out of that, and wheel slid off the face, and I landed sideways and wadded up and thought it was okay. I got a little concussion, and couldn't move my wrist the next day, and it swelled up real big. And I'm like, well, I put in all this work. I'm going to Loretta's. I'm going to try. And I got there and tried to race, road practice, and could barely hang on to the bike. Every bump I'd hit, there was shooting pain going up the outside of my arm, and still something to this day. I never got an MRI on it or anything. It healed itself, I guess, but every now and then I'll get some shooting pains in it, and it's not fun.
Yeah. I had a pretty good crash at Norman a couple years ago, and I went to 2 doctors. Both of them were like, you need an MRI. And I'm like, well, I ain't got $3,000 for that, so
yeah,
probably just gonna run it. We didn't have a great insurance situation at the time. It was mostly gonna be out of pocket. So I was like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, just keep it moving. It'll get better over time.
Yeah, and it did. It's been pretty much good.
Motocross races are crazy. Crazy. You tell this to a normal person, and they're like, what is wrong with you?
So I really couldn't walk worth a fuck for like a month probably, and me and my wife were renovating our new house, and we were like in the middle of pulling tile out and shit. Like we couldn't really live in it much until we got this shit done. And so I'm like laying on the floor with an air hammer, like busting tile out. And she's got this big ass fucking jackhammer that we rented and she's running it, which she was almost not quite strong enough to do it, but she got it done.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So let's see. You did Ponca this year, won every moto, right?
Yeah, I won every single moto. That was surreal. I've been riding that level for years now, and it seems like every time I go there, go to a race, like get a bad start, like come through the pack, come up to like second, third. But this year, my starts were dialed. We worked on those a lot, and it was pretty crazy. It didn't feel real because about every moto, whole shot, lead the whole thing. It did not
Pretty
feel
much
real.
checked out too, didn't you?
Yeah, it was about 20 seconds a moto.
Yeah, that's what I remember seeing. Who was your nearest competitor?
My old teammate, Benjamin Garib.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. If he would have got a start, I would have had to push a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying you were out 20 seconds ahead and wasn't even trying that hard.
I was trying.
You can say yes.
I was putting down some heaters at the beginning of the moto, get away, but other than that, put it on cruise control about 10 minutes in, just ride smooth.
Yeah.
Keep my feet on the pegs and have fun.
So speaking of coming through the pack, me and a buddy of mine were at Swan for the Winter Series in, what was that, January of this year? February maybe? I don't remember. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That was so fucking fun to watch. Like, because I think we had finished our motos for the day because that was your second moto, right?
Yeah, it was the second moto. My the battery was dead on my bike. Something was wrong with it, and we got it down to the start, and I waited at the top of the hill because we're like, this thing won't start with the button, so I'm going to have to bump start it down the hill, pull into the gate, and take off. We get it down there. I try to bump start it down the hill, and it will not start.
Fuck.
There's probably 4 people pushing me up and down, probably 10 times, and I'm finally like, this thing's not going to start. So we pushed it back to the trailer. My buddy Cheeseburger, do you guys know him?
We know of him.
Yeah, he hooked some jumper cables up to his trailer, jump started it, and I got out there with like 2 laps to go and just was full send. Then that moto you're talking about, we jump started it. He brought it down to the gate to me, and 2 corners in, I fall over and
That's right. You crashed.
I got up. I was in dead last. Do you remember what place I came back to that moto? Because
Second.
Second.
Yeah.
That was a fun moto. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because we were sitting up on not on the scoring tower, but up by it, and me and him were like, this motherfucker might come back for the lead.
That was the plan.
Dude, like, I haven't seen pace like that in a long time. Like, that was fucking...
That was pretty gnarly.
That was a
pace.
burner, bro.
I remember that whole moto.
And that track is so fast that it just exacerbates, like, how fast it looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was gnarly.
I was running pretty close to that pace, if not a little faster at the Pro Challenge this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they... so I know at the Winter Series they had... I don't know if they had it at the Pro Challenge, but you know them... So you hit, like, what is normally big techs at the Pro Challenge, or used to be big techs.
Oh, the giant jump?
But it's like at the Winter Series, it's like a little step up, long ass landing, and then you make the downhill left-hander, and there's some sketchy little fucking jumps right after that left-hander.
Single table,
yeah,
and then that double up the hill.
Yeah, so then those 2 rollers that you can make into a double. I remember seeing you hit that at, like, there were some other guys hitting it, and I hit it a couple times, and it was always a fucking bounce off the shit. And you come through there and just grease that motherfucker. I was like, shit, boy, that's a different level coming through there.
Yeah, I love that track. This year they didn't have the Big Tex Pro Double that they usually have, which I was bummed on. I wanted to hit that thing, but they turned that like step up that jumps down into there before the left, and then the single table. It was like a quad, and it was so hard to time. I cannot tell you how many times. Like the last moto, I won 3 out of 4 motos at the Pro Challenge. The last moto, it was pretty rough and really shady, so you couldn't see a lot of the bumps. And I got kicked sideways a few times and started riding pretty cautious. By the time I got to second, Brandon Scher had 15 seconds on me, and it took me 15 more minutes to catch him, to get to his back wheel. And I overjumped that thing so many times trying to catch him. I was digging deep.
So it was a quad. Was it like a Camelback style quad kind of deal?
Yeah. It was pretty sweet. It was just really hard to time.
Yeah. Because when it was the little step-up deal, you had the longest fucking landing in the world, and it would get super rough down at the bottom.
It wasn't nearly as rough. Only the pros ran that section at the Pro Challenge, which was really weird because they run it for the Texas Winter Series
Yeah.
every year.
So what did they do for the other guys?
Come up, make the right, and instead of going straight, you would make a left and go. Your left turn would go over that second roller where you double up that hill.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the old layout. Like I'm talking like late 2000s here, so that's probably irrelevant to you, but
Yeah, I think the first time I went there was like 2016 or so.
yeah. Yeah, because the way they used to run the old national track, or I guess the full outdoor track, it used to do what you're talking about. They didn't do that little switchback where you hit the big text step-up thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that track's gnarly.
Yeah.
Super fun.
It is really fun. It used to scare me how fast it was, but
It is spooky. Yeah. For some reason, I always ride really good when I go there. I don't know why. Like,
it's sweet. It's a pretty sweet track.
yeah. Like, I won the plus 25 class down there last year. Not the plus 25A, just the average Joe plus 25 class. But that Robbie Smith won the plus 25A class by like 15 seconds or something.
Robbie still rips.
Yeah, he does. On a fucking two-stroke.
Yep, I was watching him at Oak Hill Texas Winter Series this year. I'm like, why is this dude not in my class?
He could be. Yeah, he definitely could be. I don't know how competitive he would be in the full A class at the like full national level, but
Yeah. Texas Winter Series, I bet he'd be top 5, if not close to that.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he looks very out of place in the plus 25 class every time I see him.
Way out front.
Yeah, and then if he runs plus 30, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're out there just fucking getting dubs for the hell of it, you know? Yeah.
Oh, man. That's that contingency money on his Yamaha.
Honestly, dude, at the Winter Series, it pays pretty good.
Yeah.
So you might as well.
Oh, yeah.
So you swept Ponca, and then after Ponca, well, no, so we're going backwards here. So Ponca was in October. So
Yeah,
and then you had an injury at Loretta's.
Yeah, injury at Loretta's. I raced 3 outdoor nationals. After that, I raced Ironman, Budds Creek Ironman, and then Paula Raceway, the last one.
Yeah. See, and this is where I pull up results on the TV, and we go through that shit. But I don't have the TV tonight because my MacBook's fucked up. So do you remember what you placed at those races?
I know I got 2 18ths, which to me, I really was not happy on it. That's the huge learning curve for me right there. That was huge. Having to swallow getting 18th, or just the race in general? I mean, that and just racing in general. Like, there's so many fast dudes at that. Like, everyone's going
Fast as
extremely
fuck,
fast.
yeah.
And just having to do that for 30 minutes, and my starts were terrible. And I'd be coming from 30th to 40th to 18th, and luckily I was in really gnarly shape. Robbie had us on a really good program that summer, or this last summer, and I was in really gnarly shape, so I never faded. I had to learn from a lot of mistakes that I made and hopefully get better this next year. I know went 18-22 at Budds Creek, my first one. I was running 14th for 15 minutes of the second moto and fell over, got stuck under the bike.
I remember I was watching on TV, which, see little clips here or there.
Yeah.
Because they follow, obviously they follow the front guys. But I remember seeing you up to 14th, and then I didn't know what happened after that.
Yeah, I fell over, got stuck under the bike. And
if you don't get lapped at Outdoor National, you're probably top 15, right?
Oh, they lap probably up to 12th, I'd say. Yeah.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
It's like, I mean, I don't know if you're quite good enough to run their best lap one time, but you're probably close. You're real close. But their problem is they do that every lap.
Yep.
And if sometimes they get faster.
Yep.
That's the issue with like those top guys.
Yeah, the consistency is crazy with those guys and the speed. Like, I could probably run pretty close to their lap time, but I never got the chance to because I was coming from the back, always having to pass people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start behind 40 dudes. I mean, it's going to
40 gnarly dudes.
It's not, none of them's a joke, so.
Oh. And then Ironman, I went 25-18. And then Paula was a nightmare. There were so many problems going on. Like, first moto, Paula's actually where Garib landed on my hand. So first moto, I'm terrible start again. First lap, I drop down you like step up the hill and then make a 180 right and drop back down the hill. I hit that drop off. There was no flagger. Land on top of some dude's bike, ride the front wheel all the way to the bottom, and then cross rut and fall over. So I got lucky.
Got lucky, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just a nightmare. It was so hot. And second moto, my bike was like bogging. I got a decent start the second moto, and it's like a double out of a corner that was super hard, and then a triple, and then the finish line. And I remember landing in the pocket of that double, going to hit the triple in those ruts, and my bike bogged. It goes blah, 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 and then pick back up. So I air wheelie it, case it, and Max Miller almost landed on the exact same hand with his frame. And he almost landed on, he like barely grazed my bar with something on his bike, like either his motor or his frame. Went way left, almost smoked the big metal railing where the finish line is. And somehow he got back on the track. And I was freaked out after that. I'm like, man, this whole trip has been a nightmare.
So sounds like starts, if you can get those a little bit more dialed in, you might start off on a better foot at least. What do you think's the limiting factor there right now? You think you get it in your head a little bit on the gate, or?
Not necessarily in the head. I don't really get nervous for races or really psych myself out very much. I don't think those guys are any better than me.
Yeah.
So
it's a good place to be.
Yeah. When I take off, I have a bad problem. Me and Robbie were working on this yesterday, actually, like come out of the gate, and we were working starts on the Supercross track off the grate. I dropped my right shoulder and almost crossed her at every start. I dropped my right shoulder and can't figure out why, but I'm working on it. It's getting better. My starts were really dialed at Ponca, and then I took that time off, and the problem's back. So we'll work through it again.
Yeah. When you say cross rut, you mean like you get over the gate and you start to roll to the right a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start to roll to the right, and the bike unsettles in the rut, and bounce up and down, pull the clutch back in, and by that time, everyone's a bike link ahead of you.
Yeah. I apparently I have that problem too. I didn't realize it, but we filmed some starts the last year, and I did that a few times coming out of the gate and just rolling to the right. One time I did it really fucking bad at Bob's. You'd have thought I had never fucking done a start in my life. I was like, Chase, don't ever post that video.
I have the video on my phone.
We're going to need that posted tonight.
I took some screenshots from the video, and you literally think he's about to fall over. It's that bad.
Dude, I'm like Stanky like Joe hanging off the side of the bike. Like, it's fucking bad.
Oh, that's sick. I got a video from like 2019 at Bob's just messing around on the backtrack. It probably looks like the start I did in that video.
It probably does. Like, it was straight up like D-class fucking bullshit.
I love it. That's my favorite class to watch at state races.
Definitely.
You catch me at the state races, I'm on the track when the beginners are out there cheering them on.
Yeah.
I love those dudes.
Yeah, it's fun. There was a guy at Bob's, speaking of Bob's in the D-class, there was a guy out there, I think it was 2 years ago. This is just capping every fucking jump on the track. He's got like a 15-second lead, and he comes off the track, and Bob always has that guy there doing interviews for the winners, and this guy's like, "Why are you in the beginner class?" And the kid just fucking starts his bike and takes off.
He's sandbagging him.
Fuck yeah, he was.
Was that in the mud?
No, it was a dry race.
I remember watching the beginner class one day, and it was out in the mud, and there was some kid out there just
shredding.
Yeah, he was on a Cowie. I don't remember his number. It was either 18 or 10 or something. I was watching him. I'm like, he is moving right now.
There's always a dude in the C class, too, that's like 10 seconds ahead of everybody else. And it's always the out-of-state guy.
Yep.
There's always that dude, though. Like, there's the dude you're talking about in the beginner class. He's probably winning by 15 seconds, feeling good. Mm-hmm. Then he finally moves up to novice and gets fucking waxed.
Yeah.
But then there's that dude in the novice, too, that's like, winning, dominating, then moves up to the intermediate and gets fucking waxed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's always that dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the B class at the state series hadn't been super competitive the last couple of years. But there's usually one guy that's shredding.
Yeah.
And then the other guys are like, kind of middle of the road for the most part in terms of B pace.
Yeah. There's a lot of really good riders in Oklahoma, honestly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I watch at the state races, I'll go and watch, and I'm like, dang, like, he's gotten a lot better. He's gotten a lot better. And also, like, every time I go to a state race, there's new faces. Mm-hmm. Like, for years, it was same people over and over and over. There's so many new people getting into the sport.
Yeah.
It's sick.
It's growing for sure. And the 85 classes have been huge the last 2 years.
Yeah.
A couple of the races, they had runoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
It's
And
good for the
the
state
women's
series.
class, there's
Yeah, the women's class
17,
was huge
18,
this year
19
too.
Girls.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Because my wife raced it. I think she raced it for the first time. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
20? Yeah, 2020. She raced it for the first time. There's like 4 girls. And this year, I mean, we'd show up to some state series. There'd be 14, 15 girls.
That's pretty sweet.
Women, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. That's usually one of the smaller classes. That's
Right.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. There's so many of them.
Like Ashley Hall's out there lapping people 3 times, you know?
She's a shredder.
Yeah.
She always has been.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of state races, I think was Reynard's the first round.
Mm-hmm. This year it
We
was.
had a little bit of competition for the first 3 laps.
Oh, old Taryn?
Dude,
Oh, dude.
that was fun to watch. Which he was on 450, you're on 250.
Yeah.
But man, he was ripping until you get around him, and then you.
I think he pulled out the 450 for the second moto, if I'm not mistaken.
My 450 was grenaded at the
Oh,
time.
was it?
Yeah.
No, you were on 250.
Yeah, I was on a stock 250. That
But it was
thing's
fun.
such a
Like you
beater.
guys were both shredding, and then once you get around him, then he kind of sales would drop. But
Yeah, his tongue's in the spokes.
Yeah.
There was a couple times where I'd come into the right-hander around the tree before you go into the canyon in the back.
Mm-hmm.
He'd come to almost a complete stop, and I'm pretty sure it's because he knew I was on a 250, and he would drag me coming out of the corner.
yeah,
Get a better,
dude.
He's such a smart racer
Yeah,
like
he
that.
was
Yeah, he
break,
is.
making you hit your brakes, and he'd take off.
Yeah.
Yep. He's
Talking about that. We've had him on the podcast.
You just-
Really?
He's talking about brake checking.
Dude, he can talk about so many little technique things that you would never fucking think of.
Yep.
And it's like, wow, yeah, that's fucking smart. I don't know if I'll be able to think about that in the middle of a race, but it's
Yeah.
a good idea.
People that talk about him around me, I'm like, dude, he looks so good on a bike. He's so smooth. He's the best looking dude to ride a dirt bike with a belly, I'd say.
Oh, 100%.
Like his style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense how he does what he does.
Dude, he shreds.
When we went to Ponca National in 2020, he was there on a 252 stroke, and I think it was plus 25 because I rode Vet Open, but I didn't race plus 25. So I was in the scoring tower watching you and him race plus 25, and someone's like, who's this fucking beach ball like waxing everybody around the track? And I'm like, it's fucking Taryn O'Dell.
Oh, yeah.
But he was like quite a bit heavier then than he is now.
Yeah, he slimmed up a lot. Since
Yeah.
I think the first time I saw him ride back, he was on a Ride 365 Crossland Honda at TMX back in the day that he borrowed from Chris Crossland. And
Yeah.
shredding. Me and my buddy Eric Edwards always loved watching him ride.
Yeah.
We'd go out there. Like, I'd ride at the same time as him, and he went out there that day, and he was chasing me down for a moto, and I was doing a moto. I pull over after the moto's over, and Eric's like, dude, you about got smoked by a big boy. It's like, yeah, he's a bad dude for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you know like what Taryn was back in the day, then it's nothing to be ashamed of at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed him at the track this second half of the season. I thought he was going to race all the state races, but he always gives me super good like pointers and stuff at the track, that things I never think of.
I just saw
Just
his
like little things here and there.
factory edition sitting up at Wilson the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Faux sale.
I knew he'd been trying to sell it, get a new bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he racing anything next year? Like, is he going to try Loretta's again or anything like that?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Not that we've
I
heard.
know this year, basically why he hadn't been racing much is they're building the house, and so they've been busy with that.
Okay.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they were kind of, as far as I know, kind of contracting it all themselves, and so they're real busy with that. But I don't know. Last I talked to him, he was kind of, didn't sound like he had any huge plans.
Yeah.
He sounded like he wanted to race and stuff, but nothing. I didn't hear him say anything about Loretta's.
He didn't come to Ascot, did he?
He was at the first round of Ascot.
He was,
but not the
okay.
second.
Was Vega there for the first round?
No.
No. Because remember we talked to Brian on the show before that race. And he's like, yeah, I'm coming out there. You know, I mean, my kids get along with Taryn's kids, whatever.
I don't believe
Probably
he
had a
was there.
bicycle race or something. His kids racing.
Oh,
BMX.
yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So real quick, so back in the day, your dad had the motorcycle shop, Baker Boys.
Yeah.
He had a little team too, right?
I'm not
Kind
sure
of.
if he had a team, but he helped a lot of people.
Well, I know
out.
like Jesse Braden, Barry, Nathan Cox,
Yeah.
probably even Marley.
Marley.
They all always had Baker Boy stuff.
Yeah. I remember like Jeff Nick's working on Marley's bikes in the back. They pulled a set of brake pads off there because he rode the back brake so bad, and the thing was bent. And still to this day, I'm like, how do you do that? Because I'm pretty hard on stuff, but I've never done that to a bike. It's crazy.
What was bent? The rotor?
No, the brake pad was like bent in a U shape. It got so hot, I guess, and they used to have to get like aftermarket brake calipers that would vent better, I guess. And
I've never used a set of clutches in my life.
You never used a set of clutches?
Like I've never
blown through
burned
clutches.
a set of clutches in my life.
Really? That's pretty good.
I never have either.
I've changed some
Yeah.
before because I thought that was a problem, but I've never went through clutches.
Me and him are always laughing. Like if you watch like, Vital and Swap and MXA, they always do bike tests every year.
Yeah.
Right? Like the shootouts. And every year, like the Cowie and the Suzuki, they're like, oh, we're blowing through clutches. We had to put a new clutch in before the end of the day. And I'm like, how the fuck? Like I've put 80 plus hours on so many bikes and never put fucking clutches in them.
Yeah, like I've been on Cowies I probably put 50 hours on my 450 by now. And like people I train with that ride Cowies out there go through clutches all the time. And they're like, hey, when I first got on them, Mike Forkner told me, he's like, the clutch plates have a problem breaking. I put probably 50 hours on the bike. The clutch is brand new when I pulled it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hard on a lot of stuff, but not rear brakes and clutches.
Yeah, I think like me and him aren't big clutch guys. It sounds like you aren't either.
Yeah.
Like I sometimes will, basically I'll hold the clutch coming into a corner if I'm braking really hard. Because the KTM 350s, they stall fucking really easy.
Really?
Oh yeah, the one time I had a chance to beat his ass, Chase, straight up, like I led the whole fucking moto and I was gonna get the overall if I won. Fucking stalled it with like 3 corners to go.
Dude.
Yeah. But yeah, they're pretty bad about stalling. But I pretty much hold the clutch coming into the corner if I'm braking really hard because of that. And then that's about the only time I use the clutch, really.
Yeah, I use the clutch sometimes coming out of the corners if I need it.
Yeah.
And then I use it to shift a lot because the bike shifts a lot quicker.
Well, yeah, I mean, I use it to shift, I guess, but I don't think about that as much. That's like a natural movement,
Yeah. Shifter up, clutch in.
Yeah. And I guess if there's like a really sandy corner, I'll fucking give her a little hoorah,
Yeah.
But
We're a little clutch dump.
yeah, there's not too many of those around Oklahoma anymore, especially now that Anadarko's not around.
Dude, I wish that track was still
Don't get in here fucking slobbering over the old Anadarko days. I fucking hated that place.
Really?
Yeah.
I wish that place was still there. I love riding sand tracks and everything.
But, to be fair, I really didn't get to ride there a whole lot on big bikes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was a turd on 80s. Like, you just, the whole fucking time, not going anywhere.
Wringing its neck.
Yeah, like you're wide open doing like fucking 20 miles an hour. It always just wore me out.
Yeah.
I did race there one time on a 250F, and I remember liking it more, but that was the only time I got to do it. So most of my memories there are like, fuck this place. It was always cold for the state race,
Oh, yeah. I think my last time racing there, or even being there, was on 85s. Like my first year on 85s.
Yeah.
But I always loved that track, and I wish it was still there so I could ride it.
Honestly, had I got more time on it on a big bike, and if I had any time there in warm weather, I might have liked it.
Yeah.
But every time I race there, come off the track, my hands fucking hurt so bad because they're frozen. And I had some good results there. I remember winning a few motos on 80s and shit there in some of the later days of riding 80s and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I never really liked the track. But a lot of people that rode there their whole life, like a lot of the vet guys we've had on the show, they're like, oh, Anadarko. And I'm like, don't get me started, bro.
I love that place so much. But I agree with you on the cold weather thing. I hate cold weather.
Well, and back in them days, they would start the state series in January.
Yeah.
And they don't do that anymore.
No.
So
It's a pretty nice time of year now that they run it, except sometimes in the summer it's blistering hot.
I'm not a huge fan of how long it goes for, but I would rather it go long than have, like at the banquet, they asked everybody, they're like, all right, show of hands who would rather have the series done by July.
Yeah.
And like 20 people raised their hand, and everybody else is like, nah, keep it how it is. Because, if you run 2 state races a month or more, for what would that be? 4 months? Mm-hmm. You don't really leave room for a lot of other races or money for that matter.
Yeah. Seriously. Did you go to the Texas Winter Series, the first round at Freestone this year?
I did not.
Oh, you got lucky.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it cold?
Oh, yeah. It was. Wind was blowing about 20 miles an hour, and I think the high that day was 31.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my buddies came back from practice and they were like, dude, the track's like riding on a rock garden. It's so cold out there. Me being me, I was talking shit. I was like, quit being a baby. Just talking shit. And then I go out there. And I think I did like 3 laps of practice. I come in. I tell my dad, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not racing today. He's like, you want to bet? That day sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Bubs Creek had a little race. No, I think it was a Winter Series race or something last year. Or was it early this year? I don't remember.
I got to ride Bubs Creek the other day, last Saturday for the first time.
It's a fun little track.
Dude, it's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole place is pretty sweet. The dirt's
He's still
so
prepping
good.
it and stuff?
No, we were riding Supercross. Jackson prepped the Supercross track for us, but I did a few laps on the outdoor track. It wasn't prepped, and it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But they had a Winter Series race there, and it was real cold. And, yeah, I told Chase after that race, I was like, I'm about over this racing in the cold shit. Like, I'm getting too fucking old for this bullshit.
Did you ever ride Hickory Ridge when you were young at all?
I've never heard of that place.
Sunset, Hickory Ridge? No,
Shit,
never?
dude, Hickory Ridge was gone
was it?
before.
Yeah, he's
Like, I know Colt Nichols didn't own it or nothing, but he was like, I don't know, he was always out there.
Was it in Muskogee?
I don't think it was quite Muskogee, but right in that area.
Okay,
Maybe
then
Henrietta.
I never got to ride there then.
I was sick, though.
Yeah.
Henrietta's pretty
I
fun.
You
used to
remember
watch
the old
Skokie.
Fletcher track?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
That track was pretty
Was
sweet.
that the one with the car in the tree?
No, that was
I don't
Duncan.
I had to have rode this track, but I
you,
can't
you've
remember
been there.
exactly.
I was there with you.
That's where you remember I blew up my 125? That was at Fletcher.
It had the finish line that was like pretty short tabletop, I'd say, from what I can remember last time I raced there.
They had a
50.
big tabletop in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it did.
That
have
was
some
fucking tough on a
pretty
125.
beefy jumps.
Yeah.
I just remember all the jumps would get 8 out super
Yeah.
bad.
Like,
Yeah.
so
can't remember
take
for
like
some reason.
Moto City faces and make the jumps way fucking bigger.
It was it's like southern Oklahoma, like red sand.
Down by
dirt.
fucking Talahina and all
Do
that
you
shit.
remember a state race? I was there with you, Supernaut.
Wait,
Hawthorne's
hold
dad,
up.
like
I remember. I remember
thought
now.
he died.
I remember now. Yeah.
What about the old Talahina track? That one was sweet.
Oh, yeah, that's where Cole raced the quad.
Really?
Was it Valley
That
Moto?
was that track? Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think I ever went to Valley.
Valley Moto, yeah.
I think I only raced there once.
I only ever rode there in a quad. That's the only track I can ever say that about.
So you don't like it too much from what you're saying.
I mean, it was tough, but I was on a quad.
Yeah.
Like the
Yep.
biggest jump there, I was like struggling, sweating it. But on a dirt bike, it could have been like first lap,
Yep.
But on the quad, it was like thinking about
No,
it.
there was a jump in the back that you didn't hit. It was like a triple.
Oh, yeah,
So I
probably.
remember it was just the top few guys in the pro class were jumping it.
Yeah.
Well, on a dirt bike wouldn't have been a big deal, but
Thankfully I didn't
it
hit
was
that
pretty
one.
gnarly on a quad.
There was this track, too. I don't know if it was Oklahoma State Series, but it was a really, really sandy track. I can't remember where the hell it was, but I only remember racing there like once or twice. But like I have no clue where it was. I remember I had a flat and I still sent the moto because it was just sandy and fuck it.
Dude, I did a 30-minute moto on a flat on a turn track the other day. I knew it was flat. Well, I didn't know. Started out the moto, I'm like, man, the track got slick. Riding, keep feeling it. And just in this one section, there's 2 jumps on the track. Man, that tire feels flat. And I was like, yeah, it's flat, but I'm on a turn track, so I kept going. Came back, the rim strip was hanging out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I raced an Okra race, or I think it was like a OHCS, whatever the other series that they had, with a flat rear for about an hour and a half, and it was, yeah, like you said, the rim strip was hanging out. I had black rims, and they were pretty much silver all the way around the outside afterwards because the rim was spinning in the
That
tire so
fucking
much.
sucks.
Did you have mooses in or no?
No, it was just a regular tube.
Yeah, the one I did this year, I got the last lap. I rode, it's probably a 10-minute lap time or more. I rode the whole last lap with a flat, and it was pretty bad. I just rolled my practice bike out of the shop, threw it in the van, and went to the race and learned pretty quick. Everyone's like, you're going to need moose bibs for that. So apparently those things don't go flat.
It's just like a really thick tube.
Yeah, I guess so. I hear they're a pain in the ass.
I know
to put
back in the day when I'd always get flats, I'd buy a thick tube and then pop it, getting it in.
I don't think they have air. Isn't it just like it's a solid thing that goes inside the tire?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's a tube that you actually put air in, as far as I know.
Sounds like you'd only want to run that though in like a specific race.
I hear some guys racing pro motocross with those.
So they have no PSI on their tire.
Pretty much. They say you have to get used
so.
to it because it feels like riding with the flat.
What the fuck?
mean,
Yeah.
But it's not not as bad as a flat. But
I thought they were all fucking serious about high precision air pressure and shit. They're always talking about quarter PSI,
6.9.
fucking.
Gosh.
Front and rear.
Check my tire pressure every day when I go to ride, and that I do not like doing that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, fucking 13 front and rear caller a day. Fucking send the moto.
I mean, I just give it the old thumb check, and
If it don't flex too much.
we're good to go for the day.
That's what I usually roll with, the thumb check.
What are you running your tires?
So I was running 12.5 for a while. It depends on the track. Most tracks, like softer terrain tracks, I run 11.5 in front and the rear.
So I haven't noticed a big difference running different air pressures, and I feel like I'm a pretty sensitive rider. Like, what do you think is the main thing you feel when you go from higher to lower air pressure?
Like on a more hard pack track, I tried on Supercross this week. I tried to run 13.5 pounds of my tire just to see what it was like because I was running 11.5, and it rode on top of the dirt a lot better, but I also felt like it was going to give out on me a lot easier.
Push.
Yeah, push mainly with the rear. The front felt fine, but the rear on that hard pack stuff, like turning out of stuff, going up the finish line jump is pretty tall, comes out of a flat dry slick corner, and just stuff like that. Like with the 11.5 pounds in the rear, I can trust the rear to plant a lot better.
Yeah.
You got to think, though, too, like the pros, whatever, with those spec tires that are real soft, they can probably run a little harder air pressure, but that tire's going to give more, so it's going to hook up better, right?
Yeah, those spec tires are pretty sick.
I mean, they're probably not practical, but you probably have less odds of getting a flat or something,
Yeah.
run a little more air pressure, but still get the benefits of hooking up.
What's this about spec tires? I guess I'm out of the loop on this deal.
You don't know about this?
You think the pros are out there running MX-33s or whatever?
No, I knew they probably had their own shit. I just does every rider have their own unique tire, or what are they doing?
No, so it was this way in quads too when I was racing quads. But like, say you get a MX-33 tire that you buy from Ajax or Wilson Power Sports,
Right.
and then you're racing Supercross and you go get your tire from Marshall at the Dunlop trailer. You feel the knobbies on there, try to bend them. Compared to your tires, and feel like a rock.
Yeah.
And it's different compounds of the rubber. And so basically, it's typically they run a softer compound because then it flexes more and bites better.
But you can buy soft compound tires off the shelf. Are we talking shit that's only available to the pros?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like training with Austin, I've seen him use a lot of them and heard him and Mike talk about them. And, dude, I've seen them go through a tire about every 2 to 3 days with the spec tires because they're so much softer. The
running some
knobs
old
just rip off.
Michelin Starcross shit.
the beast.
Yeah. Like,
Some Bridgestones.
I don't know if you ever ran any Michelin Starcross back in the day, but we went through a few of them and we quit buying them because it's like you're saying, like knobbies, like you do one moto and knobbies are coming off.
I remember when I got into pit bikes, I got one of those rear tires and the lugs on there, like it was damn near having a paddle tire.
Oh, they're sick
It was
for
a
like
huge
5
lug
laps.
right in the middle.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever ran those.
Yeah. Like they're
For me, growing up, whatever Travis had, I had. So, like, that's what Travis was all, Michelin back then, so I was Michelin.
Oh, yeah.
And it took Plum like 2 years to convince me otherwise.
Yep.
But he finally got me to use a Dunlop.
Dunlops are a good tire. I love those things.
I mean, I can't tell the difference between a fresh tire, a bald tire, this tire, that tire, but
I can definitely tell when I have a fresh rear tire on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think about it or don't care. One of the two, but I just don't know.
Yeah, like Robert Reynard was telling me before Outdoor Nationals, he's like, "You're running a 33 front?" Yeah. He's like, "Run a 3S. It has more give in the front and you can feel more." Ran a 3S. I can't tell.
Yeah, I thought 3S was the old school shit.
3S was
Like that was the model of Dunlop like stock shit before they came out with the 33.
Yeah, it was probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still run the fronts. Like a
Really?
lot of pros do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my 2019 Cowie had 3S tires on it when I got it from the shop.
They might have changed it a little bit now. I'm not sure though.
Yeah.
It seems like every dirt bike used to come with a Bridgestone, like back in the day.
The Yamahas did until last year.
I feel like my Cowies
Did they really?
forever.
Yeah, like brand new Yamaha 250 would have Bridgestone tires on it.
Dude, you want to talk about a monopoly? Like it's Dunlop on the motocross world.
Yeah.
Like I don't like unless I've seen a few guys running Hoosier, but that's about it.
Well, they
Then
pulled
the Europe
through.
guys running Pirelli.
yeah.
Yeah.
They have to, I think, though.
I
I think
know-
they're like I think they have to run Pirellis.
Really?
I think so. Maybe not, but I know.
I know Pirelli is way bigger in Europe than it is here.
Yeah.
It's like
Quite a bit bigger.
They sponsor the series, I'm sure, whatever.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but it just seems like it.
Like I think every European motorsport is sponsored by Pirelli right now.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's
So
crazy.
that isn't the way F1 works. Everybody runs the exact same tire.
Yep. Everyone runs Pirelli, and they get 3 different compounds for each race.
Yeah.
There's 5 total compounds. They select 3 compounds for the weekend, depending on the track and the air temperature.
That's pretty sweet. Evens out the playing field.
Yeah. Could you imagine having to stop in the middle of a race and change tires
No.
in a dirt bike race?
That would be crazy. I'd be freaking out.
Yeah. You're standing there like, come on.
Hurry up. Can you not do that fast enough?
I mean, it would have to be a lot longer race, though, and that would make sense. But
Yeah.
in a 20-minute race, you're not going to stop. And if you are stopping and change a tire, you're hoping to get some points.
Well, there's no reason.
you're screwed.
Like, you're not going to degrade a dirt bike tire enough in any length of race for
And
it to matter.
I guarantee it. If you could change a dirt bike tire as fast as they swap out F1 tires, you might be some guys in there changing tires.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep.
I mean, but that's the thing, though. Like, if they were doing that, they'd have quick disconnects on all the lugs and everything. I mean,
Then we'd
it'd
really
a-
be eating shit over triples.
Yeah. I don't know if the quick disconnects would work on supercross tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to just see how my fate goes with that tire I got on the bike.
Yeah. I just don't see, like, I mean, how long of a fucking dirt bike race would you have to run to degrade a tire enough to where it mattered? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, like cross country, stuff like that,
They probably do that and stuff like the 24 hours at Glen Helen.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
you're
might.
definitely going to have them on deck.
But I feel like
Yeah.
the advantage, like, if you could just run it and not have to change a tire, like, the time advantage would probably be huge.
Huge.
I mean, you make up 30 seconds on a guy at least.
Oh, yeah.
And that's assuming that they're really, really fucking fast at changing tires.
Oh, yeah.
The guys behind you.
Well, the thing, too, is, like, our tires aren't wearing out in the amount of time that it takes to do the race.
No.
So we don't have a reason.
Like, you can smoke a
Change
tire
tires.
for 10 seconds on the start at Ponca, and that tire's probably still good for a while.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you start with a fresh tire and smoke it for 10 seconds on the concrete, it's probably still good for a while, depending on how picky you are.
I did concrete start for the first time in years at that 4-state MX. Have you guys been there?
We haven't been there. We've heard a lot about it.
It's pretty sweet. I like it. They had a concrete start for their big pro-am race.
Really?
Yeah, we missed. I was gonna bring that race up. I thought we were gonna get to that, but you raked in some money that weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a pretty solid payday. That was a fun weekend for sure.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that track.
Yeah, I think I won all 4 motos. I came home with like $7,500.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
For that month span there before I got hurt, I was making some pretty decent money with all those pro
Yeah,
burst
you were
races.
racking up wins, and
Yeah.
Yep.
Does the Hoosier Arena Cross, does it pay pretty good for wins?
I don't know about Hoosier. I'm not racing Hoosier. I'm racing
getting into the AMA?
it's not
Yeah,
Hoosier?
the AMA.
Because they're
kicker.
bringing it back.
Yep.
he's doing the Brassfield series, which is the AMA one.
Oh, I thought he bought the Hoosier one.
No,
No. The
He
kicker
bought
series.
the kicker series.
There's 2
I
rounds.
thought that was Hoosier. I got you now, though.
There's 2 rounds in Guthrie and 1 in Tulsa this year. Guthrie's gonna be sweet.
But it pays pretty good.
From what I know, yeah.
And that's one that Kyle Peters and everybody's at.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit, if you're racing, we're going to have to come.
Oh yeah.
I seen something recently, too. It seemed like Lil Brassfield got hurt again.
Yeah. Yesterday.
And is he still trying to do pros?
Yeah. He just turned pro. He's raced New York was his first pro race at the Arena Cross. I'm not sure how he did, but he was riding pretty good. He was riding Supercross with us at Reynard's, and he tried this on off. He did it clean a few times, but he just wasn't. I guess he wasn't precise enough on the off and clipped it and went over the bars over the next triple. And
That's all it takes.
yep.
it looked like a bone in his foot.
Yeah, he broke a bone in his foot. He was handling the pain really damn well. Like, I didn't think anything was wrong with him just by watching his facial expressions. And then he gets to the hospital and he sends me a picture of his foot with his boot off and his
All lumped up.
Yeah,
I
I
seen
got a
that
lump
picture.
on it.
I remember back in the day, I used to ride it at Corey Green's all the time, and he always had an Arena Cross track built when he rode Arena Cross a lot. But I'd do like 3 or 4 jumps on that track, and I'd get the fuck off of it quick. Like, I think I'd do every jump, but I wouldn't even touch the whoops.
Yeah,
Really?
I remember rolling through the whoops one time, and I was like,
His
"Screw
whoops
this."
were like retarded.
Yeah.
Like you needed like
Yeah, they were like duh 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 duh.
I've never raced any type of like
That's if
legit.
you're doing good.
Yeah, that's if you're hitting them hard.
Yeah.
I've never raced like any legit type of supercross. Like the most I've ever done is like local arena crosses. But I've never one time changed my suspension from my outdoor setup to there. So like I've
Yeah.
never ran it like real stiff how you're supposed to, I guess. But
Yep.
and I've always sucked dick in the whoops. Like I wasn't scared to try. I was just probably gonna end up in my head.
Supercross suspension in the whoops helps a ton. Like I've been riding Supercross on the stock Cowie 250 suspension. I would be able to do all of the rhythms. Like there's a triple in, and then another triple, and then double out of the rhythm on the North Track at Reynard's. And that pocket's super tight, and they're really steep. I triple in, but then I got to go double single because if with stock suspension, if I triple that,
G out.
yeah, straight into the G out, like the forks are gonna collapse on me, and especially in the whoops. Like I try skimming whoops, and I get told not to because the forks and the shock just blow straight through it. Mm-hmm. Yep, Robert was gonna have my Supercross suspension done today, but didn't get springs in time. I was kind of bummed, but it was cold outside, so I would have been happy and mad that I got to ride today.
Yeah, the last arena cross I did, I was like nervous about the whoops all fucking day because I was on stock ass fucking Cowie 250.
Yep.
And I was actually getting through them pretty good for someone who's never spent much time on whoops. But then I worry about the whoops all fucking day, and then I off myself on the finish line.
I remember that. That was the Tulsa Arena Cross.
Yeah.
It was slick coming up to that finish line.
Dude, so I get like a second or third place start, and then I stall the bike, and I never stalled that fucking Cowie again. I don't know why I stalled it that night, but I stalled the bike and had a fucking kickstart on it. Mm-hmm. So I'm panicking. I start the bike back up, and I'm trying to catch back up, and I like wasn't quite back calm yet, but I was like, fuck it, we're sending the finish line.
Yeah.
Slide all the way up the face.
Jesus. That's what happened to me at Freestone pretty much.
Yeah.
That's not a good feeling, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. No, I like it. As soon as I started going up the face, I'm like, fuck.
You're like Ricky Bobby. You're like, I'm flying through there.
Yeah, this is not good. and I don't know, you were sitting right there and saw it, but I don't know what happened, but it felt like I hit and just ejected off the bike. Like that's what it felt like.
You land sideways on the bike still?
I was a little crooked because I had slid,
Yeah.
But it felt like I hit and bottomed out and fucking just ejectocito, cuz.
That's the thing about dirt bikes. Like you can look real solid forever, and then it just takes one little thing, and you're fucking flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not if, it's when and how bad.
Yeah. I actually got out of that pretty good, but my ribs were banged up for a
Speaking
while.
of that, I follow Kevin Moran's on. See his video the other day
In the
Where-
whoops?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like he looked all right through the whoops, and it went from good to bad quick.
I can't remember. I was watching that. Either his front wheel missed the second to last one or his rear wheel did, and it caught
Right at the end, and then it just slammed him.
Yep. Yeah.
What'd he swap?
No,
His front wheel missed or something, and he did he go over the bars?
it just kind of like kicked his bike crooked, and then he shot out of the whoops and just slammed into the ground.
Did he get hurt?
No, I don't.
I don't
He
think
didn't
so.
post anything about getting hurt.
Yeah.
Mentally hurt.
Yeah. Whoops are the scariest and hardest thing in motocross period, I
Yeah,
think.
if I was
I agree with that.
If I was in your shoes and practicing Supercross every day, like even though you know what to do, I'd still be nervous every lap. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, hope I make it this time.
Yeah, well, I like to skim them, but I prefer to jump through those things. I'm
Yeah.
pretty good at jumping through them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some of those races, it gets faster. Like to jump them halfway through the main event, jumping's faster.
Yeah, and like arena cross, they get beat up pretty bad, and then 450 mains, and
And you get like a
sometimes in the
line
I
through
saw,
them.
I saw that New York round, the last one.
That
Dude,
was nasty.
It was literally like a rut through the whoops.
like 15 of them.
Yeah,
All
But,
leading
like,
into that
yeah,
one
you
inside
just-
rut.
getting that rut and go.
So, yeah, I wish I would have gotten to race that one. I like that kind of stuff. Like it's super rutted, super technical. Got to be perfect on the track.
So, speaking of that, do you have plans for racing Supercross in the future?
Yes,
I mean, obviously, like with your goals, that's a thing that's gonna happen, right? But
Yeah.
like, what's your timeline? Are you thinking on that?
So really, I would like to get my feet wet and race a couple this year, but I need one more Supercross point. And I'm going to try to send all my stuff in and see if they'll let me race it, because I've heard about them doing that for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Is there not any races between now and then to get one? Or
Freestone Spring Nationals actually might. They gave Supercross points last year, so if I go there and race that, I should be able to get it.
Does the Futures, doesn't it give out points?
Futures does. Last year I was going to race them, but I was hurt for the qualifiers, and I contacted Donnie Luce, the head guy at Yamaha Racing, and he tried to get me in with the guys at Feld, and they're like, no, you had to go to a qualifier. I was bummed on that. Now, this year, no qualifiers, invite only. So
What the fuck?
yeah.
What's the point of fucking Supercross Futures then? I thought that was the whole point of it. To like let people come in and see what they can do.
I don't know.
Try to qualify.
Well, who gets the invite?
I might be
Whoever
able to
they
pull.
want.
I
Who
might.
gets the invite is the kids that have been factory riders since they've been on 50s.
Yeah, right. Like
I
that's
could try to pull a string for you. Harv Whipple with AMA, he was the AMA referee or whatever they call it for the quad races.
Yeah.
Which he's, from what I understand, in charge of the Futures deal.
Really?
So I may be able to tug on a string there. I'm not saying
I like the sound of that.
Not saying I have any pull because it's been 10 years, but
Hey, I appreciate it if
I
you
could-
give it a try.
yeah, why not?
Anything's good.
yeah. Fuck that. Fuck that. I don't like that shit at all.
Yeah.
That's some fucking F1 money, my dad's money bullshit right there.
yeah.
Which I love watching F1, but like that shit is a fucking billionaire's
If you
boy
look-
sport.
What bothers me is the rules have changed. Like it changes and changes so often, and they leave it to where you can get in if they give you permission. You can get in.
Yeah.
They should look at your credentials and say, okay, this guy's not a squid. You know,
Yeah.
he's not going to come out here and
Kill
make us
himself.
look bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there were a lot of dudes that qualified to race the Futures last year. I watched at Dallas. I'm like, he should not be on a Supercross track.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they did that. I don't know.
Yeah, it
I
probably
get that.
is.
Yeah, to keep a lot of guys at just their goal.
But then-
they're
but-
going to spend whatever amount of money just to get out there and race it so they can say they did.
Right. But
Yeah.
then to me, like make it harder to make the main show then. Like
Yeah.
the main. You know what I mean? In Supercross Futures. Make
Yeah.
it harder.
Yeah.
Don't make it towards invite only.
Yeah, invite.
Then you just got the ACs and the fucking like Fortners and all them guys of the world.
Yeah.
Nothing against them boys, but like they were pedigrees. You know what I mean?
Yep. All Feld really cares about, from what I heard, is the factory kids and stuff like that. So
Who do they even got?
I believe Ryder D's gonna race them.
I thought he was going Supercross.
That's another name I was trying to think of.
No, Ryder D's gonna race them, from what I've heard. I
What
know
about Hymus?
Hymus is doing
Hymus
3
is big
East
boy
Coast rounds.
status now.
Just 3, that's it?
Yeah, just 3. And
That's
then he's
half
gonna-
of them?
Is that? How many
I
did they
think
do?
there's 17 rounds. There's 8 on each coast, and then
Damn
one
near half.
that they do both.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's about half then.
Last year to me, though, in the Futures,
So 3,
like, besides Hymus and Francesco, like, everybody else just kind of looked like they were lost. Like, they'd never
Yeah.
rode Supercross in their life.
Yeah,
I got
Gavin
pissed.
Towers was pretty close to those guys, but
Yeah, Towers was bad.
yeah, he wasn't too far off. I mean, he was a tick enough to be a section or 2 behind him. At
He
the end
looked
of the
fine
race.
out there,
Yeah,
but
It's just weird because, like, growing up as an amateur in America racing dirt bikes, unless you just think about it, you're not going to really ride any Supercross.
no, really. And Supercross tracks are really hard to get on. Like most tracks that have Supercross tracks require you to have your pro card and all that other stuff, and it really dangerous if someone just gets out there on that thing, because it's a lot harder
Yeah.
than it looks.
I mean, as an amateur growing up, you're only going to race motocross events,
Yep.
besides maybe Gainesville
Yeah.
Supercross Day or whatever.
Yep. Yeah.
yeah. So it is like kind of a like you grew up racing amateur motocross your whole life, and you're one of the best, and then it's time to go to Supercross. You got a pretty quick small window to figure it out and get good at it, to
Yeah.
get out and compete with Faulkner and all the guys that have been racing it for
Yeah.
years.
And it's kind of changed now as like a kid growing up that's maybe 16, 17. But when I was little, like, you're strictly focused
Well,
on
yeah,
outdoors.
and I guess you're
Yeah.
you're right there. Back then it was that way, but now, yeah, you look at
Even still, unless like a lot of the new prodigies, it seems like coming up, they're not really. They are racing amateur events, but not as much, and they're kind of focusing more at their home, getting themselves prepared to be a
Yeah.
pro.
Yeah,
in a
like
sense.
most people that are pretty high up in amateur motocross, probably from super minis on to A class. Every winter, when they're done racing outdoors after minios, are training on supercross and stuff like that. Unfortunately for me, that's most of the time that's when I'm hurt, and so I haven't gotten much time on supercross. But luckily, I'm technical enough on a dirt bike. I can figure it out pretty quick, and I feel really good.
Yeah, I think once you figure it out, I think it's not, as long as you're like kind of one of those technical riders, I think you'll figure it out pretty quick. But
Yeah,
I ain't saying it's easy, but once you kind of get it figured out, you know, the rhythms and whoops, you kind of know what's going on.
yeah, it's pretty scary at first. I think my first time riding supercross, I was 16 in 2020, and dude, I wouldn't hit anything and double through the rhythm sections. Then the next year, I was like, okay, I started jumping all
Yeah,
the stuff.
I mean, everything's a fucking wall.
Yeah, literally.
Like
and
a damn wall. That's all you see.
you triple through a rhythm section, and you're like, okay, I got a pocket here that I got to land in that's about 1 foot, or else I'm going to slap into the face of the next one, probably whiskey off that or endo.
Yeah.
Any little lapse of concentration on a supercross track when you're doing the rhythms and whoops and everything can be catastrophic.
So once you get, like you said, that it was scary at first. Once you get rid of that scare factor, where you go out and you're not scared, it's just another day riding the track.
Yeah.
Is when you're going to hit another level.
Yep.
Your lap times.
Yeah, it's
You could get hurt and come back in 2-3 months, ride a few days, and be right back where you're at.
What are we talking about?
Oh, he's
Riding
talking about when he
Supercross.
first started riding Supercross, how it was scary. Like,
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
the toughness of the track. And I was saying, once you get rid of that being scared, like, you're at a whole nother level.
yeah.
Another thing, too, that I think that's cool, though, that they do, like everything's built to scale in a sense. Like triples are built in a scale.
Yep.
So you make one at your practice track, you know what it's going to feel like on the racetrack.
Yeah,
I
if
mean-
you have a professional track builder build it, they build it to spec, and
Yeah.
it's all the same size.
I mean,
That's-
rhythms are going to change, but at the same time, it's going to be a similar flow through the rhythm.
That's kind of why, like, we go to Dallas Supercross every year, and you see the pros first lap just jump the triple first. They don't even
Yep.
roll it.
Yep.
Yeah, we just don't see Wyndham fucking hitting some 100-foot
I
cinder.
missed that. Those were the days.
Those were the days for
His
sure.
last one he did was at Dallas, wasn't it? Because he went from the triple face over the whoops to the
that
finish
one-
line landing and framed it.
Yes, I remember. I was
Like,
like,
framed the safety deck. That was
He's
pretty
lucky
heavy.
he didn't die a few times.
Yeah.
Now he's just mountain manned out.
he's a gnarly dude.
You see that video that went viral, him hitting that left-hand corner with the deep rut?
Yeah.
Shredding it so smooth.
Yep.
Okay, dub.
Legend.
Yep.
Hey, can I get you to get a little closer to the mic?
I don't think I saw that one, my guy.
It was like, it looked like there were some kids training or something, and he was just like, let me hop on the bike and show you how to do it. Like, he's in street clothes
Yeah.
and slapped the helmet on.
He's got his snake boots on.
Yeah, and just straight
Got his snake
shreds it.
boots on, Wolf.
Got his snake boots on.
Forms
and the beard
perf-
hanging out the bottom of
Form's
his helmet.
perfect, and yeah.
Yeah. Ripped it, too. Made it look effortless.
I'm fucking bad.
Yup.
Like, something I could compare it to is, like, relate to our world is, you know, say the mayor is out there training his son Brayton, and he's like, God damn, Brayton.
Let me show you how it's done.
Let me show you. And he hops on the 65 in his cowboy boots and shreds it.
A video just got sent to me yesterday or something, but it's some redneck looking dude on a 65 that's way too big for it, but shredding it.
Shit, boy.
I was waiting
Said
for
something about the mayor.
I was waiting for that to come in.
You guys call Blake the mayor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was him you just heard.
Yep. Thought I
Because
recognized
you
it.
don't go anywhere where he doesn't know everybody.
Oh, yeah. He knows everybody. I love Blake Barnes. Good dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's a trip.
Hey, you're the host right now. I'm eating Doritos.
How are
You're
you?
getting a little close to the mic with those. I can hear you crunching on them.
That's why I had it turned down, but then y'all were tip bagging.
Start calling you Jeremy or Marshall.
That's
So I was working with Travis Pastrana back in 2004. I forgot to turn my gas on, and I was doing a backflip. Marshall listens to these once in a while. I'll see him at Ryan, just something. He's like, I was listening to the show the other day.
Who forgot to turn their gas on?
Travis.
Travis?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, you have
crazy.
to. Honestly, that was a really good episode.
Yeah, go back and listen to Marshall's episode.
All right.
Yeah, if you're driving sometime,
I'll listen to it.
It sounds like he's in that closet back there, but it's a good show.
He's leaned all the way back here.
No, I fixed it up to where it sounds pretty decent, but
yeah, basically in a nutshell, Pastrana was supposed to be training for motocross and goes out screwing off to do a backflip, forgot to turn his gas on, and the bike bogged, cut out right on the face of the jump.
like start of the day.
And
That's crazy.
and crashed, and it bent the frame on that Suzuki. And DeCoster basically called Marshall and said, hey, because they were training in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And so he called Marshall and said, hey, I'm going to overnight a frame. Would you mind replacing the frame? Basically strip the bike down, put a new frame in it. And that's where that came from. We have that on our intro. And
That's pretty sick. I bet Marshall's got some good stories.
he has a
does.
lot.
He could probably go for like 6 days straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of things.
I called him the Forrest Gump of motocross.
Yeah, I could see that.
He's probably got some like after night stories too. That'd probably be pretty hitter.
Oh, yeah. Some rated R ones.
Oh, yeah.
He's told me some shit around the bonfire. I'm like, yeah, that's probably a good thing that was left out of the podcast.
Oh, Marshall.
Which there's probably some people that listen to this that don't know that side of Marshall. He's a freaking goose, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Ajax Kawasaki.
Yep.
And so you like the Cowie better than the Yamaha for the 250?
A lot better.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to ride one since 2018.
What do you like better about it, other than the fact that the Yamaha is 4 feet wide?
Yeah, I like how thin the... yeah, that was one of my big problems with it. The motor on those Yamaha 250s is insane.
Gnarly,
solid.
yeah.
Yeah, but mainly the chassis. Like with how thin and nimble the Kawasaki is, I can do a lot more things with my legs to like place the bike in a rut or like hot bumps and stuff. And it's a lot more consistent, and I can squeeze it a lot better and lock in with my legs. It's not so wide.
Yeah.
And they, honestly, to me, Yamaha's turn really good, but I like the way the Cowie turns better. You can steer that thing with the rear so much better.
Said the Yamaha turns good?
Yeah, Yamaha.
That's
turns
most
really
people's
good.
complaint about it, other than the width, is that it doesn't turn real good.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always thought Yamaha's turn really good.
At least a lot of people that I've talked to, they're always like, oh, it's stable. You're never going to get head shake or swap, but it don't turn worth the shit.
Yeah, and like with the Yamahas, I didn't notice it on the 250 as much, but the 450 for sure, like coming into corners when you're setting up wide, sweeping into a rut, it never feels planted. It always feels like it's about to give on you. Like it's not planted and it'll knife or like catch or something, and just wasn't really too consistent with that stuff. I think I had one Yamaha 450 we tested on for probably a month straight and finally got it dialed in, and then the bike didn't last very long.
What big bikes have you rode besides Yamaha or Kawasaki?
I've test ridden just about everything. Like all my buddies ride different bikes, so I'll be like, hey, let me ride that. Trade bikes with them for a couple laps. But other than the Kawasaki, the other bike I really liked was the Husqvarna.
Really?
Yeah. Those things are hard to get a hold of, though.
We've all got KTM 350s, and we all like them.
I'm
Used
on that
to.
450 now.
Oh, yeah, you got a 450 now.
Sold mine, fool. Bikeless.
Oh, yeah.
You're bikeless right now?
Yeah, I sold mine.
When you get another one?
Good question.
We'll think about this summer.
That is way too long to go without a dirt bike.
Well, if you think I'm going to suit up in the winter,
Yeah, you're right
talking
about
to the
that.
wrong dude. But
You're right about that.
no, I got a kid coming January.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I thought I was
sick.
going to be a boy forever, but I finally come to the realization it's going to be a girl.
Oh, man.
Finally accepted it.
You're going to have your hands full.
Oh, yeah.
You ready for it?
I mean, my girlfriend, she has an 8-year-old, so I've kind of got accustomed to a kid being at my house.
Okay.
But, I mean, me personally, I'm not a kid guy. I don't like babies. I don't want to hold your baby. You know what I mean? It's like, it's yours. You made it. But I think it'll be different with mine. It'll be different with my own kid.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be fun. It'll be, a lot of different stuff going on in my life. But
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. I've always wanted a kid. I just didn't growing up, I thought I'd have a kid at 20. I turned like 30 and I still feel 18. So I realized that you never actually get old or mentally.
Mentally, you don't get older. It's just your body starts feeling older.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I'm ready for it. It'll be cool.
I thought I was going to have a kid by 21, and I turned 21, and I was like, fuck. I'm happy I don't have a fucking kid right now. God bless.
Yeah.
I need to have my own shit figured out.
I know a few people that have had kids since they were like 18. I'm like, dude, I could never. Like, there's no way I could handle that.
No, dude, there was so much that happened in my life between like moving out of the house at 18 and now. I'm getting ready to turn 28 next summer. Like, there's so many things that have happened in that 10-year period where I'm like, man, if I'd have had a kid during that time, I don't know that it would have evolved the same way, and I'm happy I've had that time to myself.
Yeah.
I think either way, if you can grow up and be a man, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it's not ideal.
Yeah.
I'm just happy I've had the time to like figure out kind of who I am without that going on, you know?
Yeah, it's probably better to have kids later on in life than early. You can kind of figure life out before you have to raise someone and teach them about life.
Yeah, well, when I was 21, like I was making almost no money.
Yeah.
And me and my future wife were trying to figure out what the fuck we were going to do with ourselves.
Yeah.
And
like just about every 21-year-old.
Right. And then like to throw some little dude or girl you got to take care of into the mix. It would have been like, fuck.
My biggest thing was, I mean, for me growing up, when I was younger, for some reason, I thought anybody older than me was just dialed in and had life figured out. I don't know why I thought that.
I've been the same way,
Like, when I was a freshman, a high school senior was like, this dude's got it locked in. He drives a truck. But so my biggest thing growing up was like, all right, be married, have a kid at 20. And then when my kid's about 16, what would that be, 20?
It'd be 36.
So, yeah, I'm like, at this point, I'm still whooping this kid's ass on the track. That was my biggest thing. I'm like, when he's fast enough to actually ride a bike, I'll still put him in the dirt one time just to show him. It ain't going to happen.
My dad had me when he was 40, and he would, up until a few years ago when he had all those heart problems, he'd get on, like, my 150 if I was on my 65, and he'd rip around in the yard with me. He's put me in the dirt a few times. Luckily, he's taught me how to do that.
You only have one sister, right? Do you have any other siblings?
No other siblings, just my sister.
It's your sister, and she's older, right?
Yeah, she's about to turn 23 in February.
And what, you're 19?
Yeah. No, just turned 20 December 1.
Oh, you're forgetting your age? Not a good sign.
Dude, getting old.
Old fucker.
Concussions pulling through.
Already getting dementia.
Bro, just wait until you sleep wrong and it sticks with you for like 4 days. That's like you crest over 25 and shit like that starts happening.
Oh, I had stuff happen like that. Stuff happen like that.
It pisses me off because I hate when people say shit like that. Like, oh, just wait till you get older.
Yeah.
But it's no bullshit. You hit like 25 years old and you definitely change a little bit physically.
Yeah.
I don't feel, I'm 30 now, whatever. I don't feel much difference than I ever have. I think the beer's starting to catch up with me a little bit. But I mean, overall, starting to slowly get the little gut working. But I mean, physically, I still think I feel fine.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
I still feel pretty fit.
I know I'm not 18, like I used to be, but
I definitely notice I'm better like in the warm part of the year when we're riding a lot. I feel way better during that time because I'm like doing pretty high intensity shit.
Yeah.
But in the wintertime when I'm just kind of big chilling, not doing a lot of riding, not really going to the gym as much sometimes.
Yep.
Like I feel sore more often for sure.
My biggest thing is I sleep way more. Like I used to stay up every night until whenever. Now I go to sleep. I'm normally asleep before 11 almost every night.
Yeah. That's
before that was like never.
That's still one of my biggest problems. I'm trying to get on that regiment. Trying to get on that sleep regiment.
Yeah, I notice a lot with my sleep. Like Robbie, just in the last 2 years, like he knows when I don't get enough sleep.
Yeah.
And I think I'm rolling on like 4 or so hours of sleep right now, so I'm pretty drowsy.
Dude, like I get in bed at night and like I try to go to bed with my wife. She gets in bed at like 10. And I get in bed at 10, dude, and I'm just like fucking ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm like I could be in my room making music right now.
Yep.
I could be watching fucking Netflix or something cool like that. Like there's so much shit I could be doing. I could be out in the shop fucking working on something.
Yep.
Like I'm just stewing and laying there in bed. Like I can't fucking wind down that early.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have to take like melatonin or something like that to get me to go to sleep because I'll be tired till I lay down and it's like, oh, I could be doing that. Or like my mind just starts racing about things I could be doing the next day, stuff like that.
But the problem is if I get out of bed and go to my office to like start making music, I'm gonna be in there till 3 a.m.
Yep.
So I'm like, no, we ain't going to do that. So I just sit there and think about it till like 1.
And then finally fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's the worst.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Ooh, shit. Oh, we're about an hour and a half. It's about that ad roll time. Oh, let's get her done. Is your bike looking thrashed right now? Those beautiful graphics you used to send pictures of to your buddies are looking roached out? And you need to head over to SSI Decals. SSI Decals is our choice at Pit Racing for graphics on all of our bikes because they continue to set the standard for aftermarket graphics in the off-road vehicle industry. They carry a complete line of graphics kits for MX bikes, quads, side-by-side, sport bikes, snowmobiles, you name it, they make graphics for it. The kits are made from highly durable, ultra-pliable, wreck-resistant vinyl, and they're easy to apply. Their triple-layer, aggressive 3M brand adhesive will not come off, and it'll hold up to even the most unforgiving conditions. So if you need to freshen up your bike for this upcoming race season, head over to ssidecals.com, and they'll get you hooked up. If you've listened to this show long enough, you'll know that I love to talk about suspension, but we know a guy that knows a hell of a lot more than I do, and that's Marshall Plum over at Marshall's Racing. Getting your suspension dialed in is one of the most important parts of being comfortable on your dirt bike, and getting your forks and shock revalved to your weight and riding ability can literally shave seconds off your lap times. Marshall's done the suspension on all of the Pit Racing bikes, and one of the great things about Marshall is that he's always available for a phone call if you need help getting something figured out. With decades of experience in the motocross industry with both professionals and amateurs alike, you can't go wrong with Marshall's Racing. Give Marshall a call today at 405-338-8167 and get your bike dialed in.
Tired of your kids living through their cell phone? Experience the great outdoors at Jandaber's, just 30 minutes south of Tulsa in Okmulgee. Bring the family to Jandaber's. We've taught over 3,000 kids doing up to ride safely and be good sports, even when they're throwing dirt around one of our 10 tracks. Don't have a bike? No problem. You can rent or buy the right bike from our knowledgeable team. Book a lesson now. Packages available for every skill level. Experience the great outdoors at Jandaber's Motorsports Park in Okmulgee, Oklahoma.
Ooh, Jandaber's Motorsports Park.
That has got me thinking. I've spun so many laps around that place.
The front track or the back track?
I don't know. I'd say the front track more.
Yeah.
Yeah, front track I like a little better, but
You like it better than National?
I like the front track better than National.
Just for like the dirt or
the dirt, and it's a little more fun to me.
When you say front track and back track, he has a front track, back track, and then national track.
Yeah.
You knew what I was talking about, right?
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about.
The back track, though,
The back
that I
track's
know
sick.
of back track is you go after a rain, and that's where you can go ride, and it's fun.
Yep.
That long section of rollers, I really like that. Jumping into it and just
Dude, my
wide
first
open.
day back on the bike after my collarbones, I rode the back track. That track is so much more fun backwards.
Oh, really?
Like that roller, and then you jump into the rollers, that long set of rollers. You come at it, and you have to like time it, double up, and then
Jump
down
over
it.
that?
Yeah, jump down it.
Nice.
That's
I've never rode it backwards.
If you're ever out there alone, I'd try it. It's
Yeah.
fun.
I was going to say, anytime I've been out there, like there's some scrubby little motherfuckers out there doing some laps.
Yeah, if you ever get out there on a Monday or Tuesday, ride it backwards. But on a weekend, no.
Yeah. So Supernaut just got back in here. What do you know? What's your experience on that back track at Jandaber's? Not the national, but the back track.
Oh, the old outdoor national? I mean, you know what I'm going to say, but
Oh, just
I'll
tell
tell you-
Chan this story.
the first experience, we'll just jump right into it. So, got the fresh bike, fresh pipe.
New KTM with a brand new FMF with the carbon tip on it.
This sounds like it's going to go bad.
I mean, it ain't real bad, but it's not real good. But we're back there riding, having a good time, and I'm always trying to push my own boundaries, I guess. But there's those roller sections, and there's like a roller leading into them, and we're kind of jumping it out, and I'm like, I can easily get into that first one.
Yeah.
So I come as fast as I can. I think there's like even like a little roller before the bigger roller.
Yeah, there's a roller before you actually take off the jump.
Yeah, I like come scrubbing over that as much as I can, then just really freaking push. And I guess I had too much weight on the back or something.
Lynn Kogel.
Yeah, I'm full. I'm full,
Larry.
I'm full loop out. I'm like trying to save it. As far as I know, I tried to hold on to it, but it was just too much. I had a beller, and then the fresh old carbon tip on the factory 4.1 or whatever 4.0.
First day on the new bike, and
boom, crashed her.
The tip of the pipe.
That went from a $25 trip to Bob's to about a $525 trip.
I mean, it didn't hurt me too bad because it still operated fine. It didn't because I'm king bin subframe. Like that's what I'm known for. Like get a brand new bike, I'll wad that bitch up and destroy that subframe.
Oh God.
So luckily subframe was fine. It just put a little crack in the tip.
You could just go out there super jazzed, fucking.
It just cracked the carbon tip. That's
I
it?
mean
Yeah,
the pipe
it didn't crush the whole
pipe was
pipe.
fine.
Oh,
But
I was
it busted the
And
carbon
it
tip.
scratched it up, like it lost that good new look factor. But
Oh yeah. Yeah.
the saddest part is like a year later, I finally bought a new tip. First race.
Hold on. How bad was the tip falling apart before you got a new one?
Literally just a little crack in the carbon.
Really?
Like it
Well,
never.
so he had about in that whole year, he had about 12 hours on the bike. So
Okay. Yeah.
because if you put a lot of time, they'll just fall
No,
apart.
if it had been yours, like it'd blown out the next week probably. Like you got to understand, I sold my bike a month ago.
Yeah.
I had it for 2.5 years. I had 43 hours on it.
Dude.
Back in my day, I would have had 43 hours on it in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I raced that bike way more than I ever rode it.
Jeez.
But that's how a vet rider like myself is.
Yep. I'm sitting here. I ride 5 days a week. And
I mean,
I'm sitting here thinking I don't know what I would do with myself.
I never had an hour meter on. This is the first bike in my entire life I've ever had an hour meter on.
Yeah.
But my old bikes, I mean, I would love to see those numbers of hours.
Yeah. I got a few that are pretty up there.
What I was gonna say though is finally get a new tip, get her put on. First race, Ponca. I don't know what happened, but we come into we do the start, make a hard left, and then that right, and I get landed on something, and then bam, crack the tip. So it just
And then didn't you crash when you got your new FMF pipe, Chase?
I think so.
Yeah, and I told, they're like, Dixon, you gotta get rid of that stock pipe, and I'm like, both of you motherfuckers have crashed every time you got a fresh FMF. That's some bad fucking juju, bro.
You guys got to drop it in the dirt before you
That's
put
what-
it on.
Yeah, something.
I forgot to drop it in the dirt before I installed it.
The old mayor trick.
Most of the time with me, it's like I get a fresh bike, lay it over in a corner. It's about as bad as it goes.
Yeah, that's good.
I've had one brand new bike, lay it over in a corner and just
The
destroyed the radiator.
the worst story
right
I
off the
have.
bat.
Worst story. I think I got 3 brand new bikes from Ajax. I don't know, 10 years ago,
They were 11.
Yeah, it was 2011 model bikes.
11 years ago. But this is back when I was still racing a lot.
Yeah.
I think I got 2 demo bikes and I bought 1 bike. But this bike was brand new, 250F. Go out to Reynards. And I mean, I can't even explain the track back then. It's way different than it is now.
Way different, yeah.
All I remember was like where the finish line is now. It would kind of hit that, then you'd make a right, and then there's a real fast roller.
Yeah.
I'm hauling ass. I come up to that roller, have no idea what happens. I'm fucking cartwheeling,
Whoop, whoop.
and the bike's cartwheeling harder than me. And I'm so depressed. I look at my brand new bike, and it's just seats bent over, back fenders tweaked. I'm just like, motherfucker,
That is so
and
impressive.
I had no money for a new subframe. They're like $300, $400. I definitely don't have that kind of cash. So I'm like,
Good thing you had 3 bikes, though. Just swap it.
yeah, but that was my main practice bike. I don't, you know how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, being in subframes would always bum me out because I knew it was never going to come back straight no matter what I did.
Yeah.
Same with the radiator. I hate
I
bending the radiator.
didn't have much problem with my radiators.
It bothers me.
Dude, the Yamaha radiators, I'll fall over in a corner in my practice bike. My last practice, Yamaha 250 didn't have a radiator braces. I'd fall over in a corner, and I'd get up and take off, and the radiator's touching the frame. As I'm taking off, take my foot off, kick it back straight, and keep going. Never
That's
tore
one
it up.
thing. One thing about the KTM's. I'm on my 3rd one now. I've fallen over multiple times. Never bent one radiator. I don't know if it's the way
They're so narrow up
the
there.
shrouds and everything is.
And especially on the new ones, the shroud goes way forward. I mean, it's almost touching the forks.
Yeah, With the way the KTMs are designed, I don't think they get radiators as bad as like the Yamaha and the Cowie and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean the fucking Yamaha, you got two fucking
They're not
jet engine scoops on the front of that sumbitch.
Yeah.
I think in like 14 when they first came out with that new style where the shrouds like bring air in, they were really, really wide then.
Yeah. That was like 14.
Yeah, 14 because
Yeah.
I had a 14 Yamaha 450.
You wear knee braces, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I've never worn knee braces.
Really?
Me either.
I had a sponsor one time
Or
that
gloves.
No, I forgot what gloves were and shit. So, but no, I had a sponsor that bought me a nice set of like I think back then they were EVS webs, like some of the nicest sets you could get. Bought me a set and I put them on, and I remember trying to ride the bike and it wasn't happening. Like if I'd have toughed it out and maybe gave it a week, or, a while, I'd have got used to it, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like my knees on the shrouds felt like ungodly. Felt like riding a Yamaha.
Imagine riding a Yamaha with knee braces.
Yeah.
I like you're riding a gold wing.
Just on that couch, fool.
You nailed it right there.
I had to abandon them. I could be dumb. Everybody could be dumb, but I do kind of believe in the knee pad idea.
Yeah.
And I got a rod in my femur, and I'd rather blow my fucking knee out than bend that rod. So I'm like, fuck it. I hate wearing knee braces.
Yeah.
We'll risk it.
I thought about switching back to just trying the TP199 knee pad, but I've had 2 ACLs, so that ain't gonna happen.
No, I don't blame anybody for wearing knee braces. They're just not for me.
Yeah. If you actually, CTI sponsors me, if you get a set of CTIs, they're actually a lot thinner, and they don't feel near as wide as much of the knee braces.
I've had friends and stuff wearing those, and I always liked them. They were just so goddamn expensive.
Yeah.
That I was just like, fuck it, dude. We're running 2 Velcro strap knee pads, baby.
Yep.
Speaking of knees, because I've had ACL also. Have you seen Brett Q lately? Has been posting a lot of old pictures and videos, which are awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
But he's been posting the videos and pictures of where he's like, because his knees are blown out.
Oh, where he moves his fucking shin?
It'll be a video of him hitting a corner, like to get good pictures, just plowing a powdery little rut or berm.
Yeah.
And his leg literally just does a 90. And it's already blown out. And so he basically says it doesn't hurt.
Dude, yeah, I've seen that. He'll catch his foot while he's dragging bar, and it'll just pull it out. Yeah, I've noticed that.
And he comes out, and it just goes back straight.
Maybe that's the secret.
Yeah.
Just blow them out.
Get that blown out.
He's getting surgery now
Yep.
to get it fixed. But
Yeah, all
and
my
I've seen-
injuries, I've never had joints like that, and that's the one thing I'm happy about.
Yeah. Like if you just do an ACL, they're not that bad, really. I don't think. I've done 2 of them now. So, but the thing you were talking about with Brett, how he can move his knee like that.
Yeah, that shit's fucking weird.
I can do that with my right knee, just not near as much as he can move his.
It'll shift back like that though.
Yeah, it'll shift back and forth about an inch or 2.
Yeah, shit's nuts.
Yeah.
But that's like what you were talking about earlier though. Like dirt bikes are a different breed. Like that's normal shit in the dirt.
Really normal. Put your finger right here on my hand.
Oh, yeah.
Feel that?
Yeah, that's like my wrist, like my shoulders, they crack.
yeah, I just heard that through the mic. Shoulder. That's crunchy.
I mean, you can hear it and you can feel it, but it don't hurt. So
Like I guarantee I go up to any racer that that's been in the game 5, 10 plus years, and they can show me something on their body or some story, something that's fucked up that you wouldn't normally see.
Yep.
That's just how it goes.
And normally there's multiple on the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple times, doing an episode, like an injury podcast, just going through injuries because there's so many of us that just have a list this long.
And I'd still say us 3 here overall we're pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Like I mean he's got half a finger or whatever, broke some arms, but at the same time I still feel like we're all 3 pretty fortunate for how long we've rode and the injuries we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I still go work construction every day, and I'm happy I can go do that with with the racing I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a bad leg injury when I was about 11, and that's been the worst one by far. I mean, everything else has been like...
But it barely even hinders you today, which is what's dope.
Yeah, which I think my outlook on that helped a lot, because according to the doctors, it was going to hinder me forever. But
Yep. I've had a few doctors tell me that.
Yeah, and I've always said, like, why would a doctor say that? Because that's just setting someone up for failure.
Yeah.
Like a weak,
I think
a
they'd
weak-minded person, but I think it's a liability deal. Cause
I think they'd rather tell you something shitty though than say, "Oh, you're going to be just fine," and then you don't.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
who knows?
To me, most people are probably not as fucking like stubborn about it as we would be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Like-
my doctor's seen me enough times. He's not going to bullshit me now.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's the thing. Like when they told me that, I was like, they're like, you're gonna have trouble walking probably for the rest of your life, and I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I
I'll
ain't
be
gonna-
fine.
yeah, we're gonna figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, worst thing that's ever happened to me was, like, I don't know how many times I broke my nose, but I know I broke it a couple times. And a long time ago when I was like 13, the doctor said, "You probably need surgery." He's like, "You don't have to get it. You probably need surgery. It might affect you later on in life." And I'm like, fuck that shit, later on in life, you know? But now I haven't been able to breathe for like 15 years.
Well, one thing I have, when I broke my back at 16, I remember going to physical therapy, and basically they were telling me, like, this is crucial for you because it could affect when you get old.
You were 16 in the turtle shell.
Yeah.
Oh, Bazone, baby.
I feel like I knew you back then, but maybe
2008.
not.
Yeah, so 16.
No, you didn't know. I didn't know him
You
yet.
didn't.
You didn't know him?
You didn't
Okay.
know me until like a year.
Maybe I just saw a bunch of
I knew
pictures.
who he was.
But anyways,
really know
I remember
him.
him saying, like, you know, when you get older, this is where you're gonna have issues if you don't do all this. And I remember doing it for a while, but I kind of like had some appointments that I just canceled and quit going.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like I have to go to the chiropractor. Like after a week of racing weekend, I have to go to the chiropractor that next week, or I'm just like I'll bend over to get something, and my back's just killing
I
me.
broke my back.
Spinal.
Final.
My back
somebody
is
who-
broken.
My back is broken.
No, but really, like what I'm worried about now, which I hate to think about, but when I see an old man like walk in the door and he's like hunched over, just and you know he's not faking it, like he's hunched over and struggling to walk. I'm like, man, I put my body through a lot of abuse all these years of racing. Like, I don't know what that guy did.
Yeah, but a lot of times them guys are like 85 fucking years old.
Vietnam
True, but
War.
I may live 85.
You're probably going to look like that.
And if you make it to 85 and you're 85 before that shit starts happening, fuck, you've had a good run.
Yeah, true. But I just feel like
Like,
all the shit we've been through, like we're gonna hit that sooner than most people.
I'm still looking at Travis. Motherfucker's still walking, riding, talking. I mean, if he's doing it, I'm doing it.
But Travis is like superhuman. Like
I'm looking at Travis and I'm looking at Robbie. You guys seen Robbie with a pair of shorts on? Shorts and a tank top. Dude, there's scars everywhere.
Oh,
Really?
dude, Robbie's had.
Yeah, he's had some
Been through the ringer.
really gnarly injuries. He's still going this day.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
But like Pastrana, I mean, he literally base jumped and hit the ground, and in all the shit, all the other years, you see where his spine went through his pelvis.
Yeah.
oh,
And
that
just-
one was so fucking crazy,
I don't
dude.
see how he walks, and
Yeah.
He was like 15 when he did that. That's how.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's like, you're not recovering from that at a fucking 30 years old, probably. Not very well, at least.
No.
I don't know.
Not.
You just got to take it as it comes to you.
Yeah.
But
well, I
think-
mean, so I was saying that it hasn't slowed me down. Well, maybe slowed me down a little bit.
But the other thing
it's
is,
not
too-
keeping me from riding or.
I think if we keep doing what we're doing, we'll be fine. Is if we spend
That's when you stop.
if you spend the next 40 years riding the couch, and you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, honestly, like that's what I was just telling him earlier.
Stay
Like,
active.
I feel way better during the race season when we're riding a lot and racing and stuff because I'm more active.
Well,
Yeah.
you should keep riding.
Keep the body moving.
Keep riding through the off season.
Yeah, I should. I mean, I haven't had time lately. I've been going to shows and stuff. But
Got to make time, fool.
yeah, I told Natalie, I was like, maybe we need to start going at Thursday night practices in Norman again.
Where
like-
do you usually do your shows at?
Well, lately it's kind of been all over the place. We were in Dallas a few weeks ago. I was in Charleston, South Carolina, back in October.
Damn.
Play at this little fucking hole in the wall in Yale, Oklahoma, every once in a while. That was the first.
yeah.
That was the first place I ever played. So when they hit me up, I'm like, yeah, I'll come out there.
That's been your most common. You've played there, what, 4 times?
I've played there quite a bit actually in the last year and a half. But
Right by Stillwater. If you don't know where Yale is.
well,
I know
actually,
where Yale's at.
yeah, it's been in the last year actually because their anniversary of the grand opening is like next week or something. But yeah, and then we'll be in St. Louis in May, playing in Coweta in March, going to.
It's really just kind of all over the place, and
Yeah.
it's picking up.
Gonna be at Kane's Ballroom in August.
That'll be sweet.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Basically hitting the local arena cross scene
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
for the big times.
I was talking to Daniel Orr yesterday. I was like, we're still in the amateur ranks right now. We're getting ready to go to Loretta's, see what we can do.
Yep. Yep. Man, next time you do a show around Oklahoma, let me know. I'd like to come watch.
Yeah.
I've listened to some of your stuff. Pretty damn good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean,
damn good.
I usually post my schedule. If I've got a run of shows coming up, I'll usually post it on Facebook and Instagram, whatever the fuck.
I follow you on Instagram, so I should see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why I haven't been riding a lot lately.
Yeah.
Because my weekends have been stacked. But
Oh yeah.
I wish Jeremy could have weekday practices at Del City, because that's like 10 minutes from my house.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never been to that track. Still, I wish I'd go.
It is. It's a cool local track.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go there and get your fucking tits blown off or anything. But
My opinion, though, for just starting in a field from scratch, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
yeah, I have a really good time riding it. It's
Have you
just,
been to?
Well, and he's done some stuff lately too. Like, you know that big pond that they dug out in the middle? He's like made the track go down into that and stuff. So that's probably a lot cooler now, honestly. I haven't been out there since he did that.
Yeah, I've seen videos of it probably 2 or 3 months ago. It looks really fun.
Yeah. And like pretty much the whole time they've been open, it's been one of the worst droughts we've seen in Oklahoma in years.
Yep.
Right?
Speak.
So he hasn't really had great conditions, but, you know, starting to get moisture back in the ground and stuff. And I talked to him a few weeks ago maybe, and he was like, dude, the dirt was so prime the last couple times we've been open. So we need to go back out there and check it out.
Yeah, speaking of Del City, Austin, you know that long roller section that kind of turns, or where I blew your doors off?
Along the tree line or the sandy
The
one?
middle one.
Yeah.
The sandy one.
What about it?
Just imagine how fast this guy would be through there.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch.
Be going about 2 miles an hour.
I always like to rub it in because that track, Austin, was actually going pretty good and was close to me. But
Oh, dude, you got to push those buttons on
Yeah.
your friends, man.
Oh, yeah.
but that one section, I had his number.
This is the race I was telling you about where I should have beat him, but I stalled the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's the
But
other track going?
That one section, though, is really what saved me. Like, I would...
Yeah, because I was pulling his ass
'Cause there was
everywhere
that
else.
section
There was
where
this
you-
fucking triple in that he was too big of a bitch to hit.
I was being a bitch. Yeah, I wasn't hitting it. He was, and he gapped me a little bit. And then, luckily, not too much longer was that section. I would just suck him right back up.
Well, and he was like, the thing is, if I get in front of him, he's ready to die. He doesn't care. Like, we're going to the hospital if we don't fucking pass Austin.
Not quite.
And
He's done that stunt to me more than once.
yeah, so we get in the whoops. They're not really whoops. They're too peaky to be rollers, but they're not peaky enough to be like true whoops, and they're kind of sandy.
I call them sand rollers because I don't jump through them. It's like just
So
lift the front wheel.
99% of people are going to jump through them.
Okay.
Right? Chase comes out there, and Chase has never gotten out of second gear in his entire life on his 350. Comes through there, fucking here he comes, you know. And actually, the way you got me through there, the time you in the first moto, because that's where you passed me the first moto. I fucked up the last couple of rollers and got loose coming into the corner. Had to go to the outside, and he was in tight, swooped into the inside rut, and that's where you got me.
Oh, cracked under pressure.
Yeah,
That section after it, though, was really cool. I like how the inside's fast, but if you hit the outside, then you can jump into the next section of rollers.
yeah. That's the thing is like, there's actually some decisions to make there, because if you kind of go high and then square it up, you can jump in. But if you go inside, you roll, and you get some speed going, you can kind of not blitz them, but, you know, manual out through the rest of them.
I'll have to go ride that track once I get back on outdoors.
Yeah, it's fun.
Did you see that video of Wyatt Carter eating shit out there?
That
Yes.
was there? I thought that was an amp for some reason.
Well, he's had 2 bad ones in the last several months. One was at Sweet 16, and then one was there. But the most recent one was out there.
Yeah,
He
I
came
so-
saw
over that roller, or like
Yeah.
he was sideways over the roller. And
Yep.
just,
Yeah, I saw that one.
that dude has escaped some gnarly crashes.
Wyatt, dude, I've been racing Wyatt like pretty much my whole life. He's known to get pretty sketchy.
He's loose.
Yeah, he's real loose. He'll weed it every now and then. Dude, him and like Dayton Allen, all the kids I grew up racing. Like, I haven't really gotten a chance to watch them much lately, but when I was hurt with my hand, I went to OMC with Cheeseburger, was watching those guys ride, and I'm like,
Dude,
damn, like Dayton and Wyatt, like
Dayton's
they
going
are-
good.
Yeah, they're smooth and
Yeah,
like,
I've this
they're
this year
good.
I've really enjoyed watching Dayton. Like last year he was pretty fast, but this year feel like, and same with Burger. He's picked it up a lot.
Yeah, Burgers came a long way, like especially in the last month.
Yeah, I've never been silent assassin before in my life, but dating Alan at Bob's on that 2-stroke.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
That's never happened to me in my life. Like, I didn't hear anything, and then I see a bike right behind me, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I tried to go a little faster, but at this point, I'm fucking beat. Like, destroyed.
Arm pump, yeah,
just Millers, just beat. Holding on for dear fucking life. And Dayton Allen's just right there. And, like, I think he probably could have passed me. I think he was just chilling. But I tried, and he was just still right there. But it was just so weird. I could not hear the bike at all. Like, insane.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
I didn't realize you raced him growing up.
Yeah.
So he's your age.
Yeah, I've raced all of them growing up. Like Dayton, Tristan Anthony. Tristan, he quit for a long time and then came back. He's gotten a lot better since he came back. And then Wyatt, I've raced Wyatt. There's not too many of them that I used to race. Like, a lot of them quit, but those are like the main ones that I used to battle with when we were on 50s.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any, like, OGs that quit that used to ride. Like, everybody I can think of is a little too old, like a little older than you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We're 10 years.
I remember, like, I don't know, I guess I don't remember you at all, like, really on, I think I may have seen you a little bit on 60s, but, like, not at all on 80s, nothing. Like, I was already kind of
out of it.
Like,
yeah, you
20
were
years old, whatever. Like,
yeah.
But I do remember, though, because, like, I always knew you growing up because I always rode at, Center State, which is Reynard's.
Yeah.
But I remember at Branson, you won a 50 national. And your mom's just getting wild in the woods.
Oh, my
like
gosh,
up the start
imagine.
straight. Yeah. Because, I mean, I was a fan back then. I'm a fan of any Oklahoma kid at any national. But, yeah, I remember that for sure.
Dude, she's still just batshit crazy about it. Like, I'm pretty sure she likes racing more than I do. At 4-state, practice day, I'm hitting this corner, and it's like a sweeper onto the start straight. And ripping it, like staying tight, setting up the next corner, opening it up, and being able to carry speed. She flags me off one lap, pulls me over. So I pull over, and she's like, hey, come out here and do this and do that. I'm like, Laura, like, that'll be so much slower. Don't tell me how to ride, and rode off.
Get your ass beat later, boy.
Oh, dude, I did. I heard about it. She's pretty fiery.
It's funny.
For some reason, I remember you, like, he was saying he doesn't really remember you on 50s or whatever.
No, I remember on 50s. I don't really remember much past 50s.
No, I vividly remember you. I guess because you were at TMX a lot.
Yeah, we ran TMX for a while when I was
No,
on
this
80s.
was before then, like 50s.
Really?
I saw you a lot on 50s out there.
Yeah.
But I just remember you had a bowl haircut.
Mm-hmm. The old bowl cut.
Yeah, but I just remember the little 350 on the Cobra.
Yep.
And then I remember you a little bit on 65s.
So you're basically saying the same thing I just fucking said.
Hey, shut up.
I remember him on 50s, and I don't really remember much after that.
You said you don't remember much on 80s either.
Do you remember on 80s?
Yeah, I do.
Speaking of that, Jesse Flock, that's another one I grew up racing. Yeah.
Is he done? I haven't seen him.
He's at Moto Sandbox. I'm not sure what his plans are. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Actually, no, I did see some results last year, but
yeah, he raced some Supercross and some outdoors.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think he did the best last
But on
year.
80s, I remember.
I think he was struggling with some things with like his body last year. Like, I know he had ACL surgery, but that's as far as I know about it.
So, a couple things I wanted to ask you. I've always noticed you've had some sponsors over the years. You had Little Caesars on the trailer for a while. Was that just a sponsor or somebody?
That was
or
family used to live up the street from us. The Prices, they owned all the Little Caesars in Oklahoma, so they helped me out.
You.
Yeah, give me a trailer, help me get to the races.
Okay.
Super good family.
What about Loves?
Loves? So my sister went to high school with the Loves daughter, and so they just kind of got to know each other. And Loves helps me out still to this day. They're a huge part in my racing.
That's really cool.
I've just over the years noticed, those two. Kind of like, I wonder if there's a connection there or just somebody that
Put it on the
sponsors
glove like Dunge with Target.
Yep.
Put the old love symbol on there.
Yep, that'd be sweet. I used to have a chest protector that Loves huge on it.
See, my biggest failure in motocross was I always wanted to turn pro and have the feather because I always rocked the feather.
Yep.
But that would have been a big deal. Like,
Dude.
national coverage if I'd had the feather.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, one thing would be bigger than that.
The no gloves or what?
No gloves.
Then-
Well, no gloves and the feather.
Dude, imagine that you're on the line in a Supercross race and the camera's scrolling across.
Imagine
And you
like
have no gloves.
Yeah.
imagine another kid from Oklahoma too though. That'd have been like, I think there's more before Kennard.
Yeah.
There's like there's some guys from Oklahoma that were good back in the day. Well, besides Coop.
Like Johnny.
Cole Humphrey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Chase
Humphrey
Reed.
never really did anything.
Did he not?
I mean,
I thought he raced a few Supercrosses.
I thought he did too.
I'm just talking like big. Like, you got Kennard, you got Bogle, you got Cole.
You didn't win a title, you didn't do nothing, according to Supernal.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Humphrey was really good, but then it kind of he was good like arena cross, local level, maybe. I think arena cross was kind of more of a mainstream thing back then. But I don't know that he really did a whole lot Supercross wise.
I can't think of any real big names before Trey.
All I know is I had a good thing going, and then I
Robbie.
just never did nothing.
Well, other than
Guy Cooper,
that's like way back in the
OG.
day.
There really is a lot.
Talking about when we were coming up.
There's a lot of names that came out of Oklahoma, which is, I don't know if it's crazy. I mean, we're all from Oklahoma, but there's been some big things
Albertson's
happen.
not from here, right? In
No.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Missouri has quite a few.
It's crazy though too that what Oklahoma still has in the motocross scene as far as just talent.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Even so, we're talking about ones that are from Oklahoma. There's a ton training here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That we still draw like main, Fortner's here, Chan trains here, from here, whatever.
Well,
but
so we
still,
pretty much got all the Missouri guys: Bloss, Albertson,
Faulkner.
Faulkner.
Yeah.
The three I
Yeah.
can think of right there.
Yeah. No, Miranda's from Missouri.
like
There's a
Travis
couple
used to
other
always
dudes.
come down here.
Vince Freeze.
He's from Missouri, but I never heard of him racing around here.
Brayton's from what, north, right? Up north,
Yeah, Illinois, somewhere like that.
because he always grew up doing arena cross. It was cold there, so they're
So
always
before we
doing
started, I
arena
heard Freeze is hurt. Have you heard anything like that?
cross. I know for sure he's
Soprano
hurt.
said he's hurt.
I don't pay
Some
attention to Vince Freeze.
I only
of my
pay.
favorite riders.
Is he?
I'm a fan page. I follow. I got his fan page. I know he's hurt.
I
mean,
follow-
if
know
I'm
for
a
how
fan,
long.
that's my guy, though.
I follow that fuck Vince Freeze on Instagram.
Yeah.
They post some funny stuff
There's a fucking Instagram.
called "Fuck Vince Freeze."
God, that
Dude.
poor guy.
Dude, listen, no.
He brings it on himself, though.
Vince Freeze, though. I mean, he's
He's a little loot.
I will give him this.
Is he actually a dick as a person though?
he tried to pay somebody to take out Brayton,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
Brayton's like
Well, he
one of
actually
his
did.
main
Yeah.
homies.
Austin?
All right.
You have to.
He's
go,
a 5-star fucking douche.
Sorry,
From what
we're-
I've heard, like he'll clean someone out and they'll come off the track yelling at him about it, and he'll just have this stupid ass look on his face, like, "What? I didn't do that." And I'm like,
so
play dumb about it.
Hell no.
Hell no, I'm fucked up.
we're talking over each other, but so I think it's Pulp. That you need to listen to it. I think it was like a 10-15 minute deal on Pulp where they interview Brayton, and it's after the
Brayton talks all about it.
dude Brayton
And Brayton won't lie.
And Brayton basically said, "Dude,
Got a son.
Brayton is the good. He's
said-
got a son.
Dude, Brayton's a legit man.
they've been teammates for a while." He basically said, "We're on a friend, like we go golfing together." They were that tight.
Wives hang out.
And then he said,
Touch wieners.
on the track, he said, you've seen what happens. And he said, come off and ask him. And then he just like, it's an excuse. Oh, I didn't mean to. But then in video, he turned right into him. Where he's like, dude, he literally, I could hear him like pull the clutch and rev it up and then just bonsai into me.
Did he have the world Supercross title in his hands?
Brayton did.
But
Let it slip.
yes, and
No.
he literally
Freeze.
his
Oh,
mechanic,
Freeze.
somebody
Freeze,
came up to his
baby.
mechanic or something.
What,
and
250
was
class?
Basically offering money to.
Premier.
Oh yeah, they hit either him or his mechanic went up to Grant Harlan and offered him
Yes.
like $2,000
$1,000
or
or
something.
something. Yeah, $2,000 bucks.
I thought Tomac won the World Supercross. Oh, he missed a round, didn't he?
Roxon won, but
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't a joke, but it's a 2-round series. But Freese was in the
I
hunt.
thought it was 3 rounds.
Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah.
3 rounds. Freese was in the hunt. Like, so Roxon
And Tomac couldn't qualify for the championship.
No, Roxon could qualify. Roxon came the next whatever show. He won the first moto. Next moto got a flat. So that opened the door for Freese and Brayton. And Brayton was like, Brayton wants to win. Who doesn't want to win? but Brayton ain't gonna pay a dude to clean me out. Type of guy to win. But Freeze is, I'm gonna pay a dude to clean you out to win.
So supposedly
they're
going to pay Grant Harlan to take him out. Yep. But then what happened is they go in the first corner.
Harlan's not there.
He sees Brayton right in front of him and runs right into him.
And they both go down. And Brayton's pissed.
That's so stupid. He's like J-Law, except J-Law would actually throw down on the track with him. And
Freeze has speed. You don't have J-Law speed.
That's what I was about to say. I won't knock Freeze. His starts are freaking dialed.
Insane.
Just like Alessi, which is weird because it's like makes you think it's something about Tony Alessi, like just has it figured out and puts it in him.
I think.
But even after his starts, he's still fast. His mental. I feel like his brain, his racing strategy is just.
It's almost like he mentally fades, starts to lose focus, make mistakes.
Because he's thinking about who's behind him and what he's going to do to block him or whatever.
What he's going to do to block him, how he's going to clean him out.
Yeah, where if he just focused on hitting his fastest lap every race, he'd probably win.
That shit with Craig was fucked off.
I was about to talk about that.
Yeah, I was mad.
But like athletes have like a twitch muscle. Like, that's what kind of gives them their edge. But like Freeze, his twitch muscle is like if someone's near him, clean him out. And Barsha's kind of the same way. He just kind of has more of a, I don't know, like a rap sheet or he's got more of a resume to back his stuff up. With Freeze doesn't. But if
Barsha's smarter about his.
If someone comes up, if Freeze is in the hunt, and there's someone nearby that's trying to threaten for a pass, he's going for the throat.
I did like when Justin fucking ghost rode the whip, though.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Barsha.
I loved it.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
That was good shit.
Yeah. I mean, Barsha, his biggest problem is how he doesn't see anything. Like, he's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Have you seen the videos of him and Tomac yelling at each other when he came off the track?
Yeah.
Tomac barely touched him, and he slammed Tomac.
Yeah, that's like... The thing I love the most about Tomac, I don't think I've ever seen him get dirty, but he will purposely pass you, like on the outside, and not even touch you, but just to prove a point that, like, I just passed you and didn't even have to touch you.
Yeah.
But, I really do, like, I like Anderson a lot. But the way Anderson will pass Tomac compared to the way Tomac will pass Anderson is two completely different things.
Yep.
Like, Anderson will go straight for the throat, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, Anderson's not too dirty. He's dirty enough to, like, try to make an aggressive pass. But, I mean, Tomac's not going to pull. Like, Tomac will not pass you on the inside unless it's, like, open and he won't touch you.
Yeah.
But he will not, like, put a wheel into you.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Anderson looks like he's willing to risk it more than Tomac. So I feel like Anderson feels like if he sticks it in there on Tomac, like, he's going to take them both out. Tomac will hit the brakes, where Tomac will blow by the outside of him.
Yeah.
Tomac feels like he's got more to lose.
There's this, I'll probably never find a video of it, but there was this race at Washougal. Tomac didn't get a great start, as usual. He's back when he was on Cowies, and he's coming through the pack. I'm pretty sure he made the pass for the lead. I can't remember who was leading at the time, but it's kind of this, it's like in the middle of the track, kind of back in the woods, and it's a left-hand corner, ruts from fucking top to bottom. And he gets in this like middle to outside rut, never fucking sits down, never takes a foot off, never lets off the gas. Fucking dude. I remember watching it, and like I think it was just me and Natalie watching the race, and I was like, fuck. That was so fucking gnarly, dude. Like, just like you're always talking about. Tomac's going to come in and blow the fucking berm out.
Yup. You see him pass Sexton on the sweeper onto the start straight at Ironman this year? Went straight up around the outside of him. It was sick.
I think I do remember that, yeah. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I was watching one of Trey's motos from 2010 when he won his 250 title, when I was on the rowing machine and the stair stepper in the gym today, and was watching Southwick, and I saw him square off a corner, sitting. He sat into the berm, squared it off, then stood over a bunch of rollers, and then sat and just drove back to the outside and cut off the leader and passed for the lead. And I screen recorded it. I was about to send it to him and be like, dude, you are gnarly. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, dude, Kennard was insane when like in his prime.
Yep.
So you're around him a lot. I hear from a lot of people he's still shredding.
Yeah, he could probably go top 5.
He's hurt right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, his axle broke on a Supercross finish line.
Is he still
Front or rear?
Rear.
Rear axle broke, like taken off?
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
He's still a test guy, though, for Honda?
Yeah, yeah. He's, he could hop on a Supercross
So
track
basically
and go
that
race top
The
5.
wheel just buckled.
I guess. I wasn't back there when it happened.
What he hurt?
His wrist. He did his wrist.
I know what all the test riders say, because, like, someone like Kennard or whatever, they're apparently extremely good motocross riders, and they know Supercross. But when they are test guys, if they get a little squirrely out of a corner, they just double. But in a race setting, you can't just double. You got to triple. So, like, that's how they eliminate getting hurt.
Yep.
But when you're someone like Kennard, I guess it just kind of finds you. Unfortunately.
You got the Oklahoma luck right there.
Yeah. But
Yeah, because I also see where, like, Brock Tickle is test rider for Cowie.
Yeah.
He's still super good.
Dude, yeah. I rode with him a little bit when I was out in California this year, and that dude shreds still, too. He was racing not too long ago, though.
You're right.
and none of those guys are a joke.
No. Trey's
don't
probably
lose it.
still faster than him, though.
I guarantee Hot Sauce still gets on the bike and shreds.
Hot Sauce still gets on the bike and shreds. I rode with him, too. He's gnarly.
Who the fuck is Hot Sauce?
What?
What?
Tedesco.
Oh, I've never heard that. Never heard that nickname.
Oh, that's been his name for years.
Oh, man.
I've never heard that nickname.
Sickest compliment I've ever gotten is I pull off the track. My first time ever at State Fair in California. It actually shut down right after I left, but I did some 4-lap sprints with Seth Hammaker, and I was going faster than him, and we came off in between one of them, and Tedesco goes, dude, you can effing ride.
That's awesome.
I was like, thanks, dude.
Put that in the memory bank right there, boy.
Yeah, that thing ain't never leaving
Yeah,
my
and
head.
you kind of mentioned this earlier. So that right there, and then obviously you've rode with Forkner a lot.
Yeah.
And your lap times are there a lot of times.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks you haven't been able to showcase that. Like there's always something you run into, like you said. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's coming. You're gonna have that time where you're gonna show.
Oh, yeah, it's coming. Luckily, well, not luckily, but I've had a lot of stuff to learn. Had to learn from a lot of mistakes that have gotten me hurt. So if that's the battle I got to go through to get to where I want to be, I'll take it any way I can get it.
Thank you.
This is nothing like fucking outrunning Seth Hammaker, but one time I went to Robbie Smith's and did some training with him, and he didn't really know who I was at the time.
Yeah.
And I've never really thought that highly of myself and still don't. But I go out there and he's like, all right, everybody, do like 5 laps and come back. And I went out and just put in some, relatively fast paced laps for me. And I come back and he's like, dude, you're a good rider. He's like, I didn't realize that's what I was dealing with. He's like, all right, here's what you need to do. I'm like, fuck, Robbie Smith thinks I'm a good rider. I'll take it.
Yeah. Robbie Smith's a bad dude.
Yeah.
So at first glance, he's like, this squid over here.
Yeah. This guy rolling up with his fucking neck brace on.
Oh, man, the old neck brace. I wore one of those till I broke my collarbone in it. I was like, no more.
So I've got an Atlas. It doesn't even sit on your collarbone.
Yeah, I've seen the new ones. They look pretty sweet.
I'm fucking scared to take it off, honestly. It's the only reason I wear it.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they were giving away at the banquet? Is that the same brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave away it's quite a few. They're doing ticket giveaways. Random. Like every 5th one, they'd be like, go see him, and he'd have like the big prizes: neck brace, neck brace, neck brace, neck brace, and then helmets, and then a front and rear Dunlop tire.
Yeah,
there's some good stuff they're giving away.
I thought I won one at first, an Atlas, and I'm like, man, I really don't need one of those. But then I got a sag scale instead.
Yep.
Which is cool.
One of them chain brushes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, I don't know. There's not any real research on it. There's a study that was paid for by Leatt.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, well, that is like the most biased fucking thing in the world,
they
right?
paid to boost it.
Right. But I've been wearing one since I was like 11 years old.
Yeah.
Like when the Leatt first came out, and which those like definitely like were not optimally designed, right? Like
No, you barely move your head.
They had that fucking pedal going right down your spine. They sat right on your collarbone. You couldn't move your head. Yeah, it wasn't ideal, but I don't feel restricted at all in the Atlas. Like I don't even notice it.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I actually wore an Atlas probably 3 or 4 years ago. Did a few laps with it, and it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like I don't wear it because I think it's like gonna save my life or anything. I've just been wearing one for so long that I think I would feel weird without it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And then at the same time, like we get a message every fucking other month of someone breaking their neck. You know, like McQuarrie broke his neck. Caleb Carpenter broke his neck.
Yeah.
Some other guy in our group chat just broke his neck.
Yep.
You know, and I'm like, if it helps me at all from doing that, then it's probably good.
Yeah. Dude,
But at the same time, not a single fucking pro wears one anymore.
no,
So.
not a single one. Villapoto was probably the last one.
Yeah. Well, Sexton was wearing the Atlas for a long time,
Yeah,
and I think he was still wearing it for a little bit on 250s, but then I think he got the A-Stars sponsorship and they kicked it off of him.
Yep.
Let me ask you this: you're pretty young, but did you ever wear a kidney belt?
No.
That was definitely before his time.
Yeah, I know.
Do they make those still?
They do.
They
so
do?
so I follow Blake Wharton on Instagram, and he's like an old soul. He's just different.
Yeah, he's always been that way.
And
Bob Marley type.
right. Now he's into like vintage racing, but I also like he posts a lot of stuff that's like good insight. I mean,
yeah.
he's got some credibility for sure.
Yeah.
And he posted something about like bringing back, like basically why did everybody quit wearing them? Mm-hmm. And then he posted a picture where he had one on like an 05 or 04 or whatever. And it's just one of them things. It's like there's fads. Mm-hmm. Like everybody wore chest protectors. Like in the early 2000s, everybody had one on.
Yeah.
And then in like 05 to 08, everybody had a neck brace.
Yep.
And then it was no neck brace, and it's just jersey. And now it's, everybody has an under protector under their jersey.
Yeah.
Like it's just there's fads. I feel like. And that was one of them.
What would you say though, for sure, that you need to wear?
Helmet and
'cause
boots.
There's certain crashes. I don't care what you're wearing. You're not coming out of it unscathed.
That's true, but helmet would be number one, and boots would be number two.
Like if you could wear everything they make, how safe would you really be?
I would say number 3 be a chest protector, like a good one though.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely diminishing returns though, because you get to a point where you're so restricted that like your ability to move freely on the bike gets fucked up.
I mean,
like Rhino talks about that shit all the fucking time.
Yeah.
What all can you really wear? You got a good set of boots or a good set of knee braces.
If you went maxed out, you'd be boots, knee braces, kidney belt, chest protector, neck brace, helmet, goggles.
Well, and they make those like the compression shorts with padding in them.
Yeah.
They make shoulder braces too.
They do make wrist guards.
Yep. Wrist
like
braces.
Kenny wears.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's say-
you'd be fucking Robotron out there.
Let's say you're wearing all of that. Like, I mean, is that the way to go? I wouldn't do it.
No.
I'd be like Bubble Boy.
I wouldn't ride the bike.
Yeah.
I mean, I ride the bike as stupid as you possibly could, but it feels good until you crash.
Yeah. Just try to eliminate those crashes.
I have because I haven't been riding.
That's one way to do it.
No, I really did something stupid though. Like I got into scootering a couple years ago, and the concrete sucks.
Oh, like skate park scooters?
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are pretty fun. I used to ride those a lot.
When I was a kid, like I fucked around with razors all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't doing tricks, but we were jumping, kickers.
Yeah.
As far as we could possibly put them.
Yep.
But then when I got older and they made real scooters, I'm like, damn, I kind of want to get one. But
Yeah.
yeah, concrete fucking
You
sucks.
only lasted what, like a year maybe?
I mean, I still got it. I'll still go to the skate park and fuck around.
Well, you
but
were going consistently.
I was
though.
going hard for about maybe a year and a half.
What was your best trick?
Probably here's what's weird. So I have really good
Nothing good.
riding skills. So
Yeah.
I'd go to the skate park and these kids would be throwing like stupid tricks, like triple whips, this and that.
Yep.
But they wouldn't hit a double I'd hit. But I can't, I couldn't even whip, but I had like the skills to jump the scooter. I'd say my best trick though would probably be maybe like a double whip and like some grinds. Nothing crazy.
You got pretty good at grinds.
Nothing like Fortner. Like Fortner was pretty stupid there for a while.
Dude, I went to the skate park with him. First time I ever met him, I was like probably 11. He just bust out a backflip over this tabletop. I'm like, dude, that is freaking
The funny thing though is like a backflip, that's nothing. That's the easiest trick that a scooter kid's gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because all you got to do is jump and pull back.
He was busting out backflip tail whips too.
Like the like flip this way, flip that way, like
Backflip tail whips.
That kind of stuff is what
flares with tail whips too.
So here's the problem if you want to get into any action sport, you better be so fucking dialed in by like 10 years old, or you almost don't have a chance. Because it is like, especially scootering. Just watch one scooter video of like a pro, and you'll be like, holy fucking shit! What the hell is he doing?
I rode those things for years and years and years, and my best trick was probably a 360 tail whip. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
all I had.
It's tough.
Yep.
It's fun as shit though. Like
Yeah,
I was
it's really
old.
fun.
Like I'm like literally 26 years old out there at the skate park with like my best friend at the skate park was probably like 10.
Yeah.
And we were homies.
I'm not big into the scooter scene, but I follow R Willie. That
He's
dude,
gnarly.
but he's just as good on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at him on a pit bike. That's where it gets fucking funny.
Is it
Does
bad?
he suck?
Oh, it's bad.
Really?
I
Yeah,
just
it's
figured.
bad.
I figured if he's that good on both of those, he can
No,
get
it's
on
bad.
anything.
Watch his channel. Like he just blew his ankle out a little bit on a 110.
Oh god.
Squidding out over the simplest little jump.
Dude, it's a BMX bike with a motor.
I don't understand. Like I mean, I'm not saying he's the worst pit bike rider you've ever seen, but just compared to his bicycle skills and his scooter skills, just not there.
Well,
I'll tell you right now, my dirt bike skills never translated to bicycle skills.
Neither did Chase.
that's what I was about to say. Transfer me to a bicycle. Cole can tell you.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, that's what I don't understand. Like, so me and Blake, I mean, I've known Blake since I was like 9. He's probably my first ever dirt bike friend.
Yeah.
Me and him grew up just fucking shredding the streets on bikes. That's all we did. You know, just like get the shovel, let's build some jumps.
Shit, boy.
Shit, but yeah. So like me and Blake, our bike skills were dialed growing up.
Yeah.
I grew up on a bike before a dirt bike just because I couldn't get a dirt bike before a bike.
Yeah.
But yeah, I meet my other friends. Like I meet Chase. I'm like, let's go hit some bike jumps. First bike jump I ever made Chase hit. Just Endo City.
and it was a small tabletop.
Dude,
I
just
straight into
the biggest squirrel you've ever seen.
God.
Like I thought it transferred, but I guess it don't.
No, like
I've endoed a BMX bike several times.
It is a different thing. It is the same, but it is different, I guess.
yeah. Like with me, I used to ride bicycles and scooters all the time growing up, and like we'd build little faces and just send them out to flat. But now, like at Reynard's, there's a set of like BMX dirt jumps, and we hit them on pit bikes. I'm fine with hitting them on pit bikes, but I had a few people like hitting them on the mountain bike. They're like, hop on the mountain bike and do it. I'm like, hell no. If I go into an endo, there's no way I'm getting out of that. I won't even try to jump those things. I won't try to jump a bicycle.
I guess the biggest thing is like on a dirt bike, when you hit a jump, the way you preload, I guess, is like more just pushing down.
Yeah.
But on a bicycle, you push up.
Yep.
Like that's how you seat bounce, whatever. Like I don't know if that's what doesn't transfer or what the deal is, but
You also don't have the gyro or the motor and all that stuff. Like it's way different.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've watched a couple of my friends or kids I knew growing up that were BMXers that came into motocross. And if you watch them off a lip, they would be pushing on pulling up on their bars. Mm-hmm. And that's not how it works.
No.
But that's how they'd always start out, just like pulling up on it really hard and like getting nowhere.
It's
That's
funny.
probably where our Willie struggles right there.
Probably.
I think so. I don't know. Here's what's funny. He did double front flip a pit bike
No way.
onto his airbag.
Yeah.
But still, it's like the dude can double front flip a pit bike, but can't get to a couple, set of jumps.
Yep. Yeah. I could see it being like, I'd think it would be easier to go from riding BMX and doing all that stuff and getting on a pit bike than going from motocross to getting on a BMX bike.
That's how I feel, but that's
would think
also
so.
because I've spent more time on a dirt bike.
Yeah. Yep.
But what's funny is I started out on bicycles. Like I started racing BMX, but I was so young when I did it that we weren't really jumping a lot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like my mom's got a box full of fucking first place trophies from BMX.
Yeah.
But yeah, is
Well, and on that side of it, Kane Wood is a good example. He was a world
Have you
champion.
seen Kane Wood ride lately?
Yeah, he's
he's been getting a lot faster.
A lot faster.
Yeah, he's
He looks really
he's coming
good.
up really quick. But
Yeah.
it took a couple years for him to figure it out. on the
Yeah,
bikes.
adapt to it.
Dude, Jesse Braden was a savage on a BMX bike.
And a dirt bike.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of he's one of those all around talent dudes though. Like no matter what you throw at him, he's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
I seen that video just recently where he's hitting that freestyle jump over Rodney's house.
Oh, and does the knack and eat shit?
Does the knack
I don't know. I don't know how he survived that. That was.
I haven't seen
You
that
haven't
one.
seen it?
Uh-uh.
So
God
OMC,
damn.
it was like, I think it was Ronnie Mack was there. It was like one of them party weekends or whatever, I think.
Yeah.
But they set up a freestyle ramp, and it's like right next to Rodney's house, the landing they built. And Jesse hits it and does a knack, and basically his foot comes off the foot peg.
Yeah.
And just loses the bike and just lands without the bike and didn't get hurt.
Have you guys seen videos of that Drew Adams kid doing knack whips?
Yeah.
That is insane. He's like 14 too, and he'll get the bike cranked almost upside down and just hang a leg off.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm going Mike Jones.
Yeah, I like that
to
kid.
my back. If I try some shit like that.
Mike Jones. Do you remember Mad Mike Jones, Shane?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to my back.
I like the
Did he
Drew.
go to his back?
What?
Did he have something with his back or something?
Okay, so a long time ago, he showed up to X Games, had no tricks planned, and best trick, and said, I'm going to do a barrel roll.
Goes to throw a Corolla.
He throws like a quarter whip and ejectos to his back.
No, it wasn't even a Corolla. He was going to try to actually barrel roll the bike.
He was going to try to barrel roll, but like I said,
like a straight up barrel
no
roll.
preparation. He throws like a half-ass like novice whip and then ghost rides to the back.
That's not this way.
I can see that.
And then he leaves in the stretcher, just. But back then, like that's what a freestyler was.
Yeah.
Like
Before Travis changed the game.
There's some old videos where like you can watch some like well-known old school freestylers like free riding. It's just squirrely as shit. Like they're doing like no-handers and shit.
Yeah, you're
like,
talking about like Seth Enslow days.
Yeah, dude, it was great. Like back then, it was just like how big can you send?
Yeah,
it's not like
you want to talk about someone who was a
No
squirrel
skill.
but had nuts the size of fucking Texas was Seth Enslow.
Yep.
Like that dude.
watch his world record jumps.
Yeah.
God,
I don't want to.
Like that dude was sketch.
Yeah,
But he would send the biggest fucking jump you could find.
I've seen enough crusty videos.
You've seen the "you're gonna die, you're gonna ragdoll."
Yep. Yeah.
On this subject, everybody has their own opinion, but Axel Hodges, dude, his videos every time they come out just amaze me more and more. Do a backflip and land in a wheelie all the way down.
That stuff's crazy.
Just-
I'm not a big fan of freestyle, but like the big jumps he has at his place and the quarter pipe, that stuff blows
Dude.
me away. But the backflip into wheelie is crazy.
That's like some precision
Yeah.
shit that
He has so much technical skill on a bike.
I was telling someone a while back, I'm like, imagine getting into freestyle nowadays, where if you're not doing a double backflip, you're nobody.
Yep.
Well, you might like these days. You might as well not get into freestyle. You might as well get into like
Shit that Axel's doing.
getting a YouTube video
Yeah.
started and do it like raw haul, axle stuff like that. Because like there's not really freestyle motocross anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like
you
Nitro
got-
World Games, that's
you
like
got-
the biggest thing.
You got Travis and what he does. You got Axel's channel. You got Raw Hall's channel, and you got stuff like that. There's not like, oh, dude, we're shooting for X Games.
Yeah.
That's not really a thing anymore.
X Games still happens, but like I never see when it's on. Like,
It's at Axel's house.
Yeah. Yeah. It
You
was
know what
at
I mean?
Axel's
Like-
house this year.
was it?
Yeah.
and he won the pit bike
Yeah.
at his
Yep.
own house.
Like I think these days it's
I mean,
more
still,
like
I mean, he's
it's more about
super
how
cool.
creative can you get on an online platform more than like. But I know what you're saying though. Like if you want to get into freestyle, it's not about like the tricks you need to be performing are just
Like I
retarded.
still remember watching Carey Hart do the first backflip.
Yeah, and it was the stupidest setup ever created. Like
Yeah.
it was the greatest thing I've probably ever watched.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Red Bull Imagination?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they did in Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to go ride that
So
so
I was just about to ask you. So
If you're scared of Supercross, boy, you need to stay the
I
fuck
ain't, I
away
ain't scared
from
of
there.
Supercross anymore.
well, that's what I was
Them
about
jumps
to
are
say. Like
retarded.
you know, a lot of people they're like, "Oh, you race? You ever do any tricks?" Like, fuck.
You ever
that.
done any
Like,
sick tricks?
freestyle and
That's
motocross,
that's a
like, is
school thing.
different.
So you
Yeah.
get in junior
But
high.
I feel like once you get comfortable in Supercross, like you see Bogle and Nichols, you know, throwing big knacks and like that stuff comes.
Yeah.
Like you once you get comfortable on big steep jumps, that kind of stuff comes a little easier. But like, would you go there and jump all those jumps? I mean, would you
I don't know
just
about
throw
all of
big
them,
whips
'cause I-
over them and
I've been hurt enough to kind of know, like, okay, that would be dumb, but there's
you're in your racing mentality right now.
Yeah,
but
there's-
like Berriman and them, like that's just what they make
If that
money
would-
off of.
if that was what I wanted to do over racing, yeah, I'd go hit all that stuff.
They're all easy too. It's all timing.
Yeah, honestly, like there's quite a few of those. That 200, the 200-footer in the middle Behrman hit, I wouldn't hit, but the rest of them, I'm pretty sure I'd jump.
That one where they jump over the trees, like you can't see the landing.
That would be
that's the one I want to hit.
That would be so cool. But the first time you hit it, it would be
terrifying. I'd have to tow someone off.
Well,
no, not tow, because I can
watch somebody and just all right.
If I'm on a 450 and hear someone on a 450 hit that thing, I can pretty much match the sound to go do it.
Well, you'll be able to relate to this, I'm pretty sure. So, like, let's say there's a lot of different ways to hit a jump. So let's say you're racing, you hit a triple.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to come up really fast and have no throttle on the face.
Yep.
Let's say you want to throw a whip over it. You're going to come up extremely fucking slow and then throw a big whip.
Yeah.
So, like, that timing is what's key.
Yeah.
So, like, on that jump over the trees, if you're going to throw a huge whip over it, you're just kind of, you're not coming up wide open and throwing a fucking whip. Unless the jump is just huge and it takes all of that throttle.
Yep.
So, you're going to have to come up, burr, 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 and then you're going to have to throw a huge whip. And then after you hit enough times, you're going to know your speed's dialed. But if not, you're going to throw a huge whip and maybe case, maybe over clear. Like, once you get it dialed, you're good. But when you're throwing a whip like that, you're going so much higher instead of coming up way faster and going lower.
Yep.
So that's the timing that you have to find.
Yeah.
That's what's sketchy.
And riding Supercross and just kind of playing around on it, like Robbie has to go play around and like jump, not triple backwards, but roll and double over the face backwards and like sit into it, pop over it, and then just kind of roll through a rhythm section and then and double through it and then stuff like that.
You
like,
just figure all that out. Like, it's just...
Yeah, it becomes natural with any jump you hit. Like, I wouldn't be throwing whips off that one over the trees immediately, but after probably 3 to 5 times, I'd start throwing whips off of it.
And those are drills, too. You're talking about just messing around doing that stuff. Like, say you fall over in a corner in a Supercross heat race, and you pick the bike up, and you got to roll the face and then double the next one.
Yeah.
You could save a second right there just by... doing that, and that's something you did earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Where you're normally not ever going to do that because you're tripling it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll double the triple too and then hit the triple landing, jump into the next rhythm, off of a fuck up or whatever.
Yeah.
Which seems like could be a little sketchy sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm going to change the subject a little bit here. Did you go to Minios this year?
I didn't race. I really wanted to race, but I went. Yeah.
How come you didn't race?
Broke both collarbones.
Oh, shit. My bad.
So,
I forgot you were still healing up.
Yeah, I actually rode 3 weeks after surgery because I really wanted to race because I wanted to race Deegan.
Yeah.
Wanted to beat him bad.
Yeah.
But
is he going to do the full amateur schedule next year?
I don't think so. From what I've heard, he's going to race Spring Nationals and go Outdoors Pro. Spring Nationals.
Full-time?
Futures. Yeah, and then go full-time. So
I think I heard you saying...
being at Spring Nationals.
I was going to say, I think I heard you saying, was it before the podcast started? You want to go so you can try to beat Deegan?
Yeah. I was watching him at Minios, and the way I was riding before I got hurt, I think I could have taken him.
Yeah.
Pretty strongly.
Yeah. So what, are you going to hit all the amateur nationals next year? Like, what's your schedule looking like? What do you think?
No. I'm over amateur nationals.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm just going to do that one amateur national next year. And
what,
I don't
JS7 or?
Yeah, JS7,
yeah.
The spring national. And then might race Ponca, just some stuff like that afterwards. But my plan is to race pro stuff like outdoors and futures, maybe.
So on the outdoors,
arena cross.
Are you going to do select ones or?
I want to do the full series if I can afford to get there, but if not, I'll do select ones.
So this is going to be you out of your van or what? You got anything lined up?
Nothing right now. There's some talks with some Canadian teams to go race their outdoor series, which would be very nice. Like, I'd love to go do that. And I think I could go up there and start racking off wins, but nothing set in stone with that yet. And I would love to go do that. But my plan is right now, because I can't really count on anything like that, my plan's to go race outdoors out of the van.
What's the benefit of going to Canada and doing that other than making some money?
Big fish in a small pond.
Do people down here actually like pay attention to that shit? Scouting?
Yeah.
Because your ultimate goal is to get on a factory team here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. If I did race in Canada, I'd come back, and because Canada series is over, probably 5 rounds to go with the Pro Motocross series here. So I'd come back and race those. But other than that, just make money, because if you have the opportunity to make money in the sport, you got to take it.
Right. Yeah. So you're gonna go to JS7, and then you're gonna try to hit some of the outdoor nationals, do an arena cross in the meantime.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been riding Supercross, getting prepared for that. I don't know too many arena cross style tracks, so I'm pretty much gonna go in there blind and have to figure it out.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's good preparation.
Yeah.
Pretty much I don't know how they're doing the kicker series nowadays, but I know the old AMA days, like every track was basically the same.
I can give you a tip. Get the whole shot.
Yeah, no shit.
That's a huge one right there. I probably did 15 starts yesterday or more. And I was like, you know what?
Don't be timid. Take your shot when you got your shot.
Yeah, the budget's a little tight right now. So I was like, I better calm down on the starts before I go through a clutch. Luckily, Redline Oil keeps me hooked up with oil, and it's really good oil, and keeps the clutches nice and cool.
Shout out Redline Oil. So I guess you did a few outdoors for the first time last year. What was your biggest takeaway in terms of what you need to improve on other than starts?
Starts putting laps together. Really, that's it. Laps together, just not making mistakes is the biggest thing. And it taught me a lot. Like 30-minute moto, you have to be able to pace yourself, but you have to be riding really hard the whole moto. So I figured that out and was able to get that down. Like, you have to focus on your breathing so you don't pump up, and your body positioning. When you notice yourself starting to get a little tired, you have to force yourself to stay in that good body position and force yourself to breathe your way through it until you're just in sync again, and just stuff like that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that in that long of a race, because like, shorter races, like you don't necessarily have time to kind of reorient yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like I used to run cross country, and in the 5Ks, like that second mile is the hardest of the three by far, because about 10 minutes in, you start feeling it.
Yep.
But then if you just stay in the same rhythm, keep breathing, like you kind of get a second wind, get in the groove again.
Yep. Yeah. And that's pretty huge, because you don't breathe on a motocross track. You
Right.
Start getting arm pump and start riding too far forward, and can get head shake and go over the bars, stuff like that. I learned a lot from those 3 outdoors I did, and I'm really glad I raced those.
Yeah.
Even though the last one was hell.
Fitness felt good for the most part.
Yeah, my fitness was really good. Robbie had us on a really good program.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, like at Swan in October, after I raced all the outdoors, got on the Cowie. That last moto I was talking about earlier with Brandon Scher, having to hunt him down the last 15 minutes. We did 30 minutes plus 2 laps. And my fastest laps were the last 2 laps catching him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I came off the track not even winded, so I was in extremely good shape.
I've never done that long of a race. That's insane.
I raced that Pro Challenge twice, and the last 2 laps, I thought I was going to die. Like I was not in any shape, didn't train or anything.
Yeah.
But just went, like, I raced pro class those 2 years, just kind of, like, I was a B rider, but raced pro class just because, basically.
Yeah.
And I remember just like, holy shit. And Alessi's lapping me.
Yeah.
He's shredding.
Yeah.
I'm like, just hanging on for dear life.
Tongue in the spokes.
I think my best was like 23rd or something like that.
It's not too
Which,
bad.
yeah, I mean, I beat a handful of people, because I think it was 38 or 39 on the gate, something like that.
Yeah.
But
doing those long motos like that, I like practicing doing that. When I first got back on the bike and was riding outdoors, that's all I would do was go do 30-minute motos, because with the 30-minute moto being that long, work on your breathing, and you can really, like, if you go out there and pace yourself, ride at 80, 85 to 90%, and just really focus on your technique, it can make your 5-lap state races a lot better, because your technique will get better, and you'll get more confident, and like, okay, I can go this fast for 30 minutes. I can go as fast as I want in this 5-lap race.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The when you first started doing those longer motos, I mean, this probably would have been a long time ago when you were getting ready for Loretta's and shit, doing 20 minutes. But did you feel like you had to work on like focusing for that long of a period of time?
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I haven't done a ton of long motos, but I've done a decent amount. And one of the things I've always noticed is I'm like losing interest.
Yep.
Towards the end, like I'm almost getting bored in a way.
Yeah. I've had to learn how to work through that, and I just figured it out in the last year.
Yeah.
Like, that's really hard to figure out. And if you can keep your focus solid the whole way through a 30-minute moto and hit the same line every lap, not make a mistake, like, you're doing good.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of 30-minute motos to learn that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's easier when you're actually racing. Obviously, you're very focused in that zone, but when you're just doing practice 30, 20-minute motos,
Yeah. And, like, practice 30-minute motos like that, I love doing those. And so when I'm out there, like, racing with Cher at Swan, I was able to pick apart the track, and I wasn't tired at all from doing 30-minute motos and all the off-the-bike training, that I was able to have a clear head and be focused enough to, like, be able to pick the track apart, being able to tell once I got where I could see him, I'd be able to look and tell, like, I started taking different lines and be like, okay, he pulled me that much there. Okay, I gained on him a little bit here and pieced the track together and then just hammer down.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Have you ever done longer than 30-minute motos?
35-minute motos, about as far as I've done.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably about 30 plus 2, right? Most of the time.
Yeah, 30 plus 2 at Outdoor Nationals, 35 minutes.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering, like, when we used to train for long runs, we would do, longer than what we were going to race.
Yeah.
Right? So that way the race, like you were talking about, the race was easy.
Yeah.
Because we were training double that.
Yep.
Or whatever.
You go much longer than that, you're gonna run out of gas.
Right. Yeah, I know.
You're gonna need a bigger tank.
Yeah.
So that's like the on the bike stuff we do. The off the bike stuff to help that, like, we do 2-hour bicycle rides 3 days a week. We're in the gym with my trainer Angus Scholl for 45 minutes to an hour 3 days a week, lifting weights, high intensity. And then we, like, during the summertime, we run a lot, do a lot of, like, in the mornings we do like probably a 30-minute run, just get nice and warmed up, but also get your cardio up as well.
Mm-hmm. You like running better than riding the bike? Or you like the bike better?
Like bicycle?
Bicycle, yeah.
I hate running.
Really?
With a passion. With a passion. I get kind of burnt out, though, on, like, mountain biking and road biking, because, like, during the summer, he has us mountain bike a lot, because Rob has a really gnarly mountain bike trail out there. Gnarliest mountain bike trail I've ever ridden. And so I put in a lot of laps around that. But if I don't keep them separate, like, okay, 3 days a week I'm bicycling. If I go mountain bike, mountain bike, or road bike, mountain bike, road bike, I don't get burnt out on one as easy. Where if I, like, just grind on the mountain bike all summer, it's like I don't want to touch a mountain bike for a long time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was I had a road bike for a few years, and I rode it a decent amount, but I was like, because I was a runner,
Yeah.
Still am. I prefer running, but the workout you can get in the 30-minute run, I feel like is way better than what you can do in 30 minutes on a bicycle.
30-minute run is about equivalent to an hour and a half on a bicycle.
Right. And I'd get home in the afternoon or evening and get on the bike, and it'd be past dinner time by the time I was done with the workout. And I'm like, this ain't gonna fucking work.
No.
I'm not a full-time fucking athlete. I can't be training for 2 hours every single night.
Yeah.
Just riding the road bike.
Yeah, those road bike rides can drag out too.
Yeah.
I went on a road bike ride after my first day back. You guys know Jordan Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
He took me for a road bike ride. He's a badass on a bicycle. And we're riding. It's like when we left the track, it was 55 to 50 degrees. I'm like, sick. It'll be warm enough to go road bike. So we go up to, like, the gathering place area. We meet there. No, we met by Flying T. And we're just riding. And temperature drops about 20 degrees or so. And then we get over by Turkey Mountain on that trail next to the river where it's shaded.
Mm-hmm.
Wind's blowing 20 miles an hour. My body's locking up because it's so cold. We rode, I think, 25 miles. And it usually takes me 25 miles, usually takes me about hour and 15 to hour and 20. And I think that 25 miles took me about close to 2 hours or a little over.
Mm-hmm.
It was so miserable.
Yeah.
So miserable.
And when you're training that time of year, like, it's almost strictly maintaining.
Yep.
Like, you're not really getting any gains in that kind of weather.
No.
You're just out there, like, maintaining what you got.
Yep.
It's like we always did our bike rides in the summertime when it was hotter than motherfuck.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's where you make your gains.
Yep. Really is. Especially when it's hot as hell out during the summer. Like, this summer was the hottest summer since 2011, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, those long bike rides, you got to mentally push yourself through that. When you can break that wall, it's a sick feeling.
Yeah. Well, and in the spring too, like late April to early June was so fucking windy.
Yeah.
And being running or being on a bike when it's like that is horrible.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Lake Hefner? Any of you guys?
I have, yeah.
You ridden around Lake Hefner?
I haven't ridden the trail, no.
Dude,
but I mean, I've seen it. I haven't ridden it.
That place is crazy. Like, I'll go out there. Because like my whole life, I've lived within 5 miles of there. Mm-hmm. And so go out there on my road bike, cruise from wherever I was living at the time, get out there. It's windy as hell. Wind's probably blowing 20 miles an hour. So pedaling my ass off through the wind to the other end of the lake. I'm like, all right, sick. We'll get on the other side of the lake. Tailwind, baby. Let's dig right now. Get to the other side of the lake. Wind changes. Freaking headwind all the way around.
Yeah. It's great training, but it fucking sucks in the moment.
Yep. Yeah. I got into where I like it. Like
that's the thing.
For 6 months straight and just 5 days a week doing all the off the bike stuff gets really old when you can build it and then just ride and do some off the bike stuff and maintain it. Mm-hmm. Where like it gets pretty wearing. Yeah,
that's honestly like running anymore. I mean, in the heat of the race season, like I'm wishing I ran more often than I do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I almost like running more for just the mental aspect of it than the actual physical training.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Helps clear your head a lot.
It clears your head, and it I talk about this all the time with running. Like running is 99% mental.
Yep.
When it comes to how fast you can go.
Yeah.
The other 1% is how much time you spent running. Mm-hmm. And like being able to get to that point where you feel like you're going to die and keep running, that's the best training in the world.
Yeah. I can push through that and break through that wall, but I'm not a very good runner. I'm a slow runner. Like I'll run at a 10-minute pace and my heart rate will be probably 165 the whole time.
10 minutes a mile? Mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah, that's
real slow.
That's creeping along there. You get that old man shuffle going on.
2 ACLs will do that to you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Busted knees. I've never had any knee injuries, thankfully, but just from all the running, I can tell my knees aren't what they used to be.
How fast could you run, though? You do a 5-minute mile?
At my peak, I could run a 5-minute mile.
Before both ACLs, fastest I ever got was like a 6:30 mile.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, I probably would have broke into the 4s. My senior year, I broke my collarbone on a snowboard, and like literally the weekend before that, I had ran a right out of 5, and I knew I had more in me.
That is so gnarly.
Yeah,
your body. Looking at your body though, like you're built for running. You're slim and probably got some.
You should have
long
seen
legs.
me back then.
Really,
dude, I was a rail.
Dude,
there's a picture of me right after I got collarbone surgery.
Yeah,
and like I was in the gym a lot in college, and so I actually put some chest muscle on. And there's not much there, but believe me, dude, I'm telling you, when I was like 18 or 17 years old, when I broke my collarbone, like that picture, I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm still skinny as fuck, but I was like bones back then.
Oh yeah.
But all I did was run.
Dude, running burns some fat. Mm-hmm. Like it is crazy.
Yeah. Like 5 days a week, we would run. Mondays, we would do 6 miles. Tuesdays, we would do mile repeats. Yep. Which if you've ever done mile repeats, those are gnarly. Like that's probably the best long distance running training you can possibly do for running 5Ks. We do mile repeats on Tuesdays. I think we just do like a typical 5K Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And we do a 4 mile Thursday, easy day Friday. And then we go to the race Saturday.
Yep. That's pretty sweet. Every runner I've ever met's like almost skin and bone.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like growing up my whole life, I've been chunkier little fat kid. So I've had to work myself out of that, but it's my body ain't built for running.
Yeah, and I don't really like looking like a runner. You know, I'd rather have some muscle on me.
Yeah.
But it's really hard for me to put muscle on.
Yeah. Have you ever ran in sand?
Yes.
Dude, that sand track in Hera, 2021 when we were motoing it, Rob would make us do sometime. Depends on what day of the week it was, but sometimes there were 15-minute warm-up, get the track broken in, get nice and warmed up, and then 2 35-minute motos and a 45-minute run on the track in the sand.
And that's tough sand too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the worst kind of sand.
I I was running 15-minute miles in the sand.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I actually ran out there the other day when Kobe went out there. That day we rode. I got done riding and took my gear off and went for a run. I was going to go out there and help one of my buddies because he was out there and he was struggling. He probably crashed 15 times in 10 minutes. I was running. Every time I'd look up, he'd be laying on the ground. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Carry some speed, baby. He's got a problem. He rides his back brake pretty bad.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you lock up the back brake coming in the corner and just lose all speed. And
Hell,
fall
on that
over.
shit, you probably don't even really need brakes.
No, you don't really. Like, just barely dragging the front brake. If there's a rut, other than that, or you really don't use your brakes.
Yeah. Just between engine braking and the sand, you'd probably just slow right down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless it's like there's a pretty long straightaway out there. You need some brakes going into a corner.
Yeah.
Other than that, good to go.
Yeah. So how far you normally ride on the bike?
Depends on what kind of ride we got. Like if we do hour and a half, it's anywhere depending on how I feel that day, how late it is in the week, 25 to 30 miles. 2 hour ride, usually about 40 miles, but 2 hour rides, longest one I'm going to do while during the season.
Yeah. I think the farthest I ever went was like 25, and I was fucking over it by like mile 15.
Really?
Yeah.
I love doing long road bike rides.
Like I said, well, first of all, I don't like being on like busy roads.
Yeah.
And when I had the road bike, we were living in Moore, and it's nothing but busy roads.
Yep. I will not road bike. Well, I'll road bike on some roads, but like I'm not going to go out and do a road bike ride and it be all on road.
Yeah.
Like
So-
I go to bike trails all the time.
Yeah, that was probably the better way to do it, but I was always kind of like, man, I could go out and get a fucking 15, 20-minute run in, or I can load my road bike up and drive to Draper and fucking do all that fuck around, ride for an hour and a half, and then come back.
Yep.
You know, it was like, it turned into a 2.5 hour, 3 hour ordeal. I'm like, no, I'm just going to go for a run.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck it. I sold my road bike a few months ago because I never rode it. I was like, if I'm going to go get a workout in, I'm just going to run.
Yeah. Do you have a good one? Road bike?
Yeah, I had a specialized. It was the Allay Elite, and it was about $1,200 when I bought it.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, it's really smooth shifting and like crazy fast.
Yeah, I have a full carbon specialized Venge now.
Yeah,
Dude, it's so badass. It really, honestly, from that $1,200 bike to the, like, I think it was like $5,000 to $8,000. I bought it used though, but there's really not much difference in the riding.
Yeah,
Like, you don't notice the difference.
I imagine there's not. It probably weighs nothing though.
It weighs nothing.
Because
and
my
looking at-
specialized had an aluminum frame. It
Yeah.
had carbon forks, but it had an aluminum frame, and it
Yeah.
still only weighed like 5 pounds.
Yep. But dude, just looking at that thing, like the carbon frame, how it's shaped and everything, it just makes you want to go ride it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I want to get a good mountain bike. My mountain bike's it's a beater.
I've got like a $600 Trek that I go and fuck around on sometimes. Have you been to the park? I think it's in Southmore or North Norman. I can't remember where it is, but it's like there's a bunch of jumps and shit for mountain bikes. It's like right off of what would that be? 12th, I think.
No, I haven't been.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Is it?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm scared of all those jumps.
Honestly, we were talking about, being sketch on bicycles. I was taking it easy, but then like it was almost like a beginner on a dirt bike track. Like I was rolling everything, but then by the end of the day I was hitting the jumps and it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's sick.
And they've got some I called them drops, but like it's just like a wooden plank that you ride out on and just drop off of.
Yeah.
That shit's pretty fun. And then they've got a whale tail actually.
Really?
I was way too scared to hit that, but it's like on its side.
Yeah.
It's like you jump into it. It's almost like a big berm, and then you jump out. I'm like, man, if I get in there at the wrong angle and my fucking front tire doesn't grip,
Yeah.
I pushed out on it.
Mountain biking can get pretty hairy. Reynard's has a, like, back by the canyon area, like, there's a lot of elevation stuff. So on the far side of the property, right about where the canyon follows to the edge of the property, there's a long rock downhill. You make a right, make a left, and then it drops back off. And one day I got a kick from a rock on the straight down drop off going down in it. It, dude, rode the front wheel all the way to the bottom and just folded it. That was not a good time.
I think I've endoed a bicycle more than I've endoed a dirt bike.
I have to, for sure.
Yeah, like I've fractured both collarbones on a bicycle, fucking endoed a mountain bike a couple times. In fact, like right when I got cleared from breaking my collarbone in high school, I went down to I had a track at my old house, and I went down there on my mountain bike, and it was like me and my brother, a couple friends, and my girlfriend at the time, and we had this jump in the middle of the track. It wasn't that big, but it was the biggest jump on the track. We called it the catapult. and I go to like, I think we had a kicker or something set up on the face, and I hit that kicker and just went straight over the bars with a freshly patched up collarbone. And I landed right on that shoulder too. I was like, fuck, I hope I didn't just fuck that up again, but it was all good.
That's good. It was all good. I had a couple diggers where I was like, I think my second day back riding, like fully, I fell over in one corner, got up, and I'm like, I just dug into my shoulder, and it feels fine. Took off. 3 corners later, dug into the other one, and I'm like, dude, those were diggers where something was going to go wrong. It'd go wrong. So I started kind of picking up the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're good to go.
Got some confidence.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had some hard hits and fucking tame corners before.
Yeah.
We were at this track in Illinois a couple years ago. It's called Joliet MX. It's on the south side of Chicago. And it's badass dirt, like black, dark dirt with mulch in it. Like it's fucking badass. But there was this left-hand corner that had a pretty good inside rut, and I've been hammering it all day. And I come in there one time, same old deal, lost the front. Dude, I hit my head so fucking hard. All I did was fall over in a corner, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, never hit my head so hard in a corner in my life.
Yeah. I've done that a few times, like fall over in a corner and just kind of stick your head down like that to catch the fall.
Yeah, I don't know if I was just like that committed to the corner or what, but
yeah. Get up, you're seeing stars and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, like kind of fucking tweak my neck a little bit. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, get up and you're like, whoa.
I've come out of some nasty crashes and not felt that bad.
Yeah.
But I'm the type of person, like, I could have my fucking arm hanging in half, and if I didn't hit my head, I'm like, oh, we're good.
Exactly.
Like, if I don't hit my head, I'm tight.
Yeah, we're good to go. Good to go.
It's like talking about that crash I had at Norman, I got fucking slung off the bike off a jump, and it could have been really bad, but I got up and I was like, I didn't hit my head. Something's fucked up in my leg, but my head didn't get hurt, so we're good.
You keep riding that day?
No, dude. I that's the one I was telling you I couldn't walk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I thought I broke my femur at first because I stood up on it and it kind of gave.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, that ain't good. But then they came over and checked it out, and they're like, no, your bones are good. But there was something like under my thigh, like groin area type deal. I don't know if I tore something or what, but it was bad.
Yeah. Probably big hematoma.
Something.
Those suck.
Yeah. Because the thing is, I don't know how I landed. Like, I know I came down kind of side saddle.
Yeah.
Because, I went full Superman. Like, my feet came off, and then I kind of got the bike back to me when I was side saddle, and then I'm guessing my feet hit, and then I just tumbled.
Yeah.
But all I remember thinking is, I didn't hit my head. We're good.
Yeah. The old noggins. Luckily, I wear a fly helmet, so they keep me protected pretty good.
Yep, fly racing. Well, me and Superman both wear showies.
Yeah.
Which
you get switched over to that fly.
Oh,
shit.
We've been wearing showies. It's like the neck brace. I've been wearing a showy for so long. It'd be hard to switch.
Yeah, for sure. It was hard for me to switch to fly from Answer. I'd been in Answer for so long.
Well, my wife bought a fly helmet when we first got back into riding. She bought a fly helmet, and it was one of the cheaper ones. But, dude, the face mask was, like, right against your face. Mm-hmm. She put it on, and, she had never rode really before that. And she's like, is this supposed to be so close to your face? I'm like, yeah, you'll get used to it. Not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
And she's like, man, it's really close. And so I was like, here, let me see it. And I put it on, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like almost touching your nose.
Really?
It was that close. Yeah.
What year was that? Was that before the formula?
That would have been early 19. Like I said, it was a cheaper one. We paid like $200 for it or something. Yeah.
That might have been before they changed their helmets and made the formula. The formula carbon that they have now is a really good helmet. I've had a lot of dinks in my head and hit the ground really hard and smashed my head and been like, dude, if I was wearing any other helmet, I would be knocked out for a while right now.
I think like Shoei's a little bit behind on technology compared to like Fly and definitely 6D. 6D's got something different going on.
Yep.
And I've thought about buying a 6D helmet, but they're kind of ugly, to be honest.
Look like a little bit of a bowling ball.
Yeah.
You should get an all white one.
But dude, the the Bell helmet that Tomac was wearing, it was different this year, but like I think it was last year's Bell helmet and then maybe the year before that. That thing looked like a straight up bowling ball. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing it. I'm like, God, that's the ugliest helmet I've ever seen.
The new Moto 10?
not like this year's Moto 10, but it was I think it was the last couple years. Like super rounded looking. I thought it was so ugly.
They just came out with the Moto 10 like a year, not much more than a year ago. And it's called the spherical, where it's more.
Yeah. So
the one before that was the Moto 9. That's been out for
since
10
2010.
years.
So I'm talking about the spherical helmet, but I think like the brand new one looks a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Tomac in like basically the same helmet lately, but it
they've
doesn't.
Updated it.
It
Might
doesn't.
have been a prototype then.
It may have been.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as ugly as it did.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing it on Tomac, and I'm like, God, that's so fucking ugly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I kind of remember that. All the Bell guys were wearing them not right before, but probably 3 months before they came out, and everyone was talking about it on social media.
Yeah.
To me, like most of the helmets that you see are like real close to your face, big in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides like a Shoei.
The Shoei's real
Like
long.
I don't know if Thor really still makes helmets, but they were long.
They were the longest, I think.
They were long like Shoei.
LS2's got a real long face guard
But like
on it.
every other helmet to me, like Arai, Bell, Fly, they're all like big in the back and then close to your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the reason that Tomac helmet stuck out so bad to me is I've always thought Bells were like some of the coolest looking helmets.
I've always liked the Bell Moto 9s were always the sickest looking helmets to me.
Yeah, exactly. And I've always thought Bells were really cool. And then he comes out with that thing, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Bell going with that?
I still like the Moto 9 better, just by looks.
I do too.
But
I'm guessing
I wore
the spherical-
Moto 9 since 2011 until this year.
Yeah.
Now I wear Alpine Star.
I guess the Alpine too is like another long nose.
It's got a pretty long face, yeah.
Do you like that Alpine Stars helmet?
I like it. The only thing I don't like is, which is probably good for when it's really hot, like it has really good ventilation. But it basically has like these screens, and the air basically goes through the top. But dude, if you get roosted hard, like you have dirt, you can like it gets in my ears. So it literally like hits my head and goes through my hair down, and like when I took my helmet off, I got dirt all in my hair and in my ears.
Dude, I had a Fox V3 that was similar to that.
That must be like get the whole shot, stay out front motivation.
Yeah, but when it's hot, you know, you're ventilating your head. I guess that's their reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I clean it, like I'll put it in the sink and spray the sprayer through it, and you can just see it just running a stream through the styrofoam in the inside, just coming out the back of it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I think it depends on what brand you're loyal to, really.
Other than
what you
that,
prefer,
though,
because if you talk
other
to
than that, I like the helmet.
if you talk to DeHeap, he'll tell you anyone he knows that's had a head injury was wearing a Fox helmet. If you talk to,
Dude, it was like that back in the day, though.
I mean, there's definitely some truth to that. But then if you talk to, God damn it, what's his name? There's a dad and a kid. The kid still races. 34 on a Yamaha, not Tristan. Whispering. If you talk to Big Whispering, anybody wearing a Shoei, that's the people who get head injuries.
Yep.
You know, like it's just everybody you talk to has a different opinion.
I think anybody who hits their head hard gets head injuries.
Pretty much.
To be honest.
Yeah.
You hit it hard enough, it doesn't matter what you're wearing.
Right.
No. It's a piece of fucking foam.
So
dude.
you're asking if I like the Alpine Star. Just one thing I like compared to the Bell is I hate when your visor, like if you put your head down and get roosted really hard and your visor kind of comes down.
Yeah.
Like I got to where my Bell, like I'd tighten those things as hard as I could. But if you get hit with a big dirt clod, like it would come down a little bit.
I've never had that happen with a Shoei.
And well, the Shoei has that extra screw on the top of the visor. I don't think, if I remember right, my Bell didn't.
But Natalie's got a Bell, and hers will do that sometimes.
Yeah,
They
the bell
kick
doesn't
down.
have the thing in the middle.
in the middle.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think when the helmet would get older, you know, you tighten it, but it's still going to move. And then also putting it in my gear bag, like it would smash it down. But the Alpine Star, like it's fixed. And I like how like it doesn't come down. Like I tip my head down and it's not going to.
They have the magnetic visors, right?
No, that's Fox.
That's Fox. But these just
I thought
always
Alpine
blow
Stars
off.
had those
They
too.
pop in. It's so
Yeah,
if you
okay.
crash, it'll pop off.
Okay, so it's close to
It's
that.
it like you push and it pops in.
Yeah.
But you have no adjustment on,
Up or
which
down.
is fine. I feel like
I
it
mean,
comes
who
good.
runs it down anyway?
Go to your local track and you'll find out. who
You'll
runs
find
it
a
down.
few.
Cade Burton.
Yeah.
Go out to AMP.
Shout out to Cade.
We're teaching him.
I'm just trying to figure out why it's such a standard if you're new to dirt bikes, why your visor's down and your gruggle strap's low. Like, why is that a standard in dirt bikes?
Gotta block that sun, bro.
Kind of a vibe, though. Like, you got your goggle strap down, you're just ready to go out there and party, have a good time.
Yeah, party.
I told my wife when she
Party on
started
that
riding,
triple.
I was like, I don't care how fast you go, but you ain't gonna look like a fucking dumbass. Like, we're gonna get that visor up, we're gonna get the goggle strap set right.
When she first put it on, did she pull the goggle strap all the way to the bottom or what?
I don't remember, honestly, because I told her before she ever rode a dirt bike, I said, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna show up looking like you know what you're doing.
That reminds me, I got a couple of buddies that I went to elementary school with and like grew up with that I got into riding, and they ride every now and then now. And I'll go out to the track and watch them, and they're like visors down, goggle strap down, fully tucked down straightaways, elbows
dude.
down. I love it. I love it. Unfortunately, the last couple times I went to the track with my buddy, had to take him to the ER.
Oh shit,
he'd be fine.
dude. I could tell so many stories about dudes that I went to school with that like rode dirt bikes, you know, quote unquote, like some shredders for sure.
They had the Fox sticker in their back.
Big fucking Fox sticker.
Yes.
And you know what's funny is I love James Spencer and Cody Jones, but they're a couple of them boys. They were big Fox stickers. Always had some old school dirt bikes.
OG dirt bikers.
Talking about shredding.
I mean, what do you want to say?
That's sick.
Yeah. No, but they really weren't that bad. There were some other dudes that I went to school with that were like.
Last time I saw Cody ride, he was the uphill triple at Janderburg's. He was doubling, and I literally saw his body rolling off the side of the jump. He rolled down the side of the jump.
How do you crash doubling that thing?
Yeah, he got.
I think he went a little Link Kogel.
Yeah, he larried up the face.
It.
That's sick.
No, they really weren't even that bad. Like there was this dude, I can't even remember his name, but like he came to school every day in a Fox shirt. I remember asking him like, dude, you ride dirt bikes? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, where do you ride at? And he's like, oh, all over the place. I'm like, you ever go to Extreme World? I think it was still called Extreme World at the time. It might have been TMX by then. I don't remember. He's like, yeah, dude, I go out there all the time. I'm like, you go out on Tuesday night practice? He said, yeah. I'm like, man, I don't know how. I've never seen you there. I'm like, I'm going this Tuesday. You going to go? He's like, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Never saw him. I'm like, dude, why you gotta lie to kick it like that?
Yeah. I had a few of those in like.
I don't know. I just don't know why Fox got so popular.
Because fucking PacSun started carrying it.
Yeah.
I know, but what got it so popular that it needs to be in PacSun?
Dude,
It's a California thing, and PacSun's a California brand.
Fox is a lot bigger than dirt bikes, especially in California. Like,
Yeah.
they make a lot of different things. So I don't know if that's what jump started. I mean, for us dirt bikers, if you had Fox, you have to be Moto.
Well,
but I just don't think that's how it really was.
PacSun's a California brand. Dirt bikes are huge in California, like even outside of the racing scene. Like everybody in fucking California rides dirt bikes.
Yep.
And so everybody out there wore Fox.
Like 10% of them, yeah.
Is Fox, you can probably answer this, are they into mountain bike stuff?
They're into everything.
Yeah.
Have they been?
Everything.
And they've
Yeah.
been into that
Yeah.
forever?
The crazy thing is like Fox is pretty mainstream now. Like you'll see a crackhead walking down the street with a Monster Fox thing on.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And it's like, dude,
if you were a fucking junior high kid, high school kid when we were growing up and you didn't have a Fox Sasquatch hoodie, you were fucking
Like here,
Yeah.
you were nobody.
Whereas like
Here's
you're not
a-
going to see that guy wearing Thor or
Yeah.
Fly. Or,
here's a
Answer,
question.
yeah.
What is Fox, like what's their original thing? I
Motocross.
honestly don't know.
Dirt bikes.
no, yeah, motocross
Yeah.
is where they started.
Gear, gloves, goggles.
All that.
Yeah, gear.
No, they didn't start with all that.
It was gear.
They started with gear, and
So
then
gear was their
eventually-
first thing. First thing, Fox like, hey, I'm going to make a company and start a
is
Fox
his name Tim?
Gear.
Tim Fox?
Pete Fox.
Pete Fox, yeah.
And the first thing he ever made in his life was gear
Yeah, they made
for motocross.
yeah they made gear, and then eventually
Did you say motocross?
Motocross.
I thought it was motor.
I think it's in
I
like
heard
the
motocross too,
like the
or
80s.
motocross.
Dude,
late 80s,
if I
I
could
think.
read and write,
Yeah.
I'd probably went to college and got a better job, but it didn't happen. So,
Hey, you did more college than a lot of people I know.
Okay, let me ask you guys, what's Oakley known for?
Sunglasses.
Yeah,
No,
I'd say sunglasses.
what did Oakley start with?
Did they start with moto goggles?
Oh, you tell me. I don't know. I thought it was sunglasses.
I did too.
Well, now I'm losing confidence on you guys. What you said about Fox? If you don't know what Oakley's known for,
Oh, I know for a fact.
I definitely know
started in
Fox
moto.
started in moto for sure.
well, Oakley, like the first thing I think he made was grips.
Really?
Yeah, he made like supposedly the more you sweat, the more grip you got.
Huh.
And then like now you can't even get Oakley grips, but that's what it was. That's where it started.
Like dirt bike grips?
That's pretty cool.
Maybe in skiing grips, but that was his start. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong, but I'm
He's
still
losing his confidence.
I'm questioning your guys' confidence on the Fox and the Moto.
No, I'm 100% confident on Fox.
Yeah, 100% also.
But yeah,
I don't know the fucking facts on everything like you, unfortunately.
wish I knew the facts and everything. I wouldn't ask you guys.
Hey, shout out to Fly Racing. I think we're all for Fly Gear representatives.
Yeah.
Yep.
You recently made the switch. I seen that.
Yeah, last year, the team I was riding for signed with them, and I was kind of hesitant about it because I wore an answer for
pretty
long
much
time. My whole career
as long as I can remember.
Since I was 8 years old, I've been wearing an answer until last year, and so I switched to Fly, and like I was kind of hesitant about it, but they sent me all the stuff, and I put the helmet on. Helmet felt really good. First time ever wearing the gear. I slid the pant leg on, and I was like, "Wow, like that's
money,
crazy,
dude."
Yeah.
What about goggles?
I wear 100% still.
Yeah. I've got 100% goggles too.
Yeah, I love those things.
There's this thing called Oakley. You need to check. No, I'm just kidding.
They're also $250 a set.
Hey,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
sack up.
Hey, 100%. It's affordable. Best goggle you're gonna get.
For the money, it really
I
is.
don't know if you ever wore Oakleys, but
No. I can argue with you here. 100%'s top of the line goggle, the Armega or whatever, is over $100.
I think
And
top of the line goggle with the tinted lens that comes with the clear is like
125?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
120.
And you can get air brakes for 130.
You can get air brakes for
come on
130.
now.
I thought air brakes were some scrub Joe shit now in Oakley.
What do you think's higher than an air brake?
Yeah.
I thought there was a new lineup. I haven't worn Oakleys in 10 years.
That's where you're fucking up.
You can get
Oakleys.
air brakes that are 180 is like the ones with the Prism or whatever. Mm-hmm. But really, I've never been
I ain't going to buy Oakleys and not buy Prism.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I don't think you can get Oakley without Prism anymore, no matter what you're trying to get. Sunglasses, goggles.
Well, Chase said there was an option, so.
I don't know.
I really don't know. On actually
Either way,
retail,
you need to go to the store and buy a pair of Oakleys.
I just run those Tomac hand-me-downs.
Here's the other thing, too, though. 100%s are so widely used now that everyone carries tear-offs for them. Yeah. Everyone carries lenses
Dude,
for them.
get the whole shot. Tariffs are a joke.
Dude, you
They're trying to set you up to get beat.
Says the guy who's looking for Oakley tear-offs at every fucking state race that he comes to.
I've never looked for Oakley tear-offs. I just go to Chase and steal his.
And I don't even buy them at the shop. I go to cheaptearoffs.com.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Seriously?
But they are
That's
cheap
sick.
tear-offs.
No.
They're like fucking thin as can be.
And
They're
I love
money.
it. And I love them.
You need them.
You can put 9 of them on
Nobody's good enough here to wear laminates.
They're not laminates.
I only wear laminates.
Oh, I can put
I don't wear laminates.
9 regular ones. See better than 3 of the Oakley brand ones.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But they are thin as hell. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're real thin.
Like, yeah, like if you got to be careful putting them on or you'll fucking
The
rip
only
'em.
bad,
Really?
Yeah.
The only downfall is like if you have a bunch on and then you get like roosted real bad, like you can get some in between them,
Yeah.
which then you just pull them. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that high precision pulling one at a time,
I've
4
never-
times in a
I've
row.
never been
Yeah.
a big fan
In the middle of a race?
because I struggle with pulling tear offs because you see my finger, so
Yep.
I have to use this one.
Yeah. How'd you do your finger?
You never heard that story? It was when I first started riding dirt bikes. I was 16, and basically, long story short, I cross-threaded going up face of a jump and landed sideways. The bike flipped. Throttle got stuck wide open. The front brake rolled back into the throttle cables, stuck wide open, and then the bike lands on top of me. And I'm on my back with the bike on top of me, and it's burning into my leg, inside of my thigh, like just above my knee. And at the time, I didn't wear knee braces. I wore just like knee pads.
Yeah.
And it burned through my pants. It was the side, the side knobs of your rear tire.
Yeah.
If you ever felt how hard those suckers are, like right where it comes up the sidewall,
Yep.
was burning into my pants, shredded through my pants, and it was right at the top of like my knee guards.
Yeah.
And then it was just burning into my skin. And so I was like trying to scoot out from under the bike, and I was pinned under it.
Yeah.
And so basically, like it was like a dream. Like cognitively, I don't remember it that well. All I remember is I just freaked out and basically pushed on the rear tires. It was spinning, and the spokes. My finger got in the spokes as it was second or third gear wide open, and just shredded my finger.
That ain't a dream. That's a nightmare.
Yeah. And so then basically my brother rushed me to the hospital, and they amputated it because it was cut higher up, like towards the top of my finger.
Yeah.
But they're like, it'll never work properly. Man. So they cut it off, and then my leg, they're like, oh, it's a burn, but it'll heal up. And then, I don't know, 6 weeks later or something, it was nasty. Started stinking.
Yeah.
I go back to the burn center, and they're like, oh, this is a 3rd-degree burn. You got to get a skin graft. So they literally peel off the scab and scrub it down to the raw skin, which hurt like hell.
I bet.
And then they took skin off the top of my thigh, put it on there, and bam, a week or two later, it was healing. And now I just got a big mangina on the inside of my leg.
That sounds like a gnarly crash right there, dude.
And that was like when I just started riding dirt bikes. And then the next year, or no, maybe I don't know. It was either that or my back. I don't remember which one I did. First 2 years I rode dirt bikes. And I was still racing quads. That was just off season.
Yeah.
I don't know how my dad didn't make me quit riding them.
Yeah.
But like I literally raced quads for 10 years and broke my collarbone. It's the only injury I ever had.
Really?
And a dirt bike, cut off half my finger, broke my back, broke my humerus twice.
Dude.
Tore my ACL. Like I had a list as long on dirt bikes.
Yep.
And people were like, "Oh, quads are so dangerous."
Yeah.
It's just
that's what
they can be for sure, but
They're not dangerous. They just suck.
I just got lucky.
They're gay.
They blow out
like
ruts.
I just got lucky on that side of it.
Yeah. Very.
Well, you were skilled on quads, and
I wasn't skilled on dirt bike, and I was trying to ride it like I was skilled. That's actually probably why I got hurt a lot in the beginning.
Yeah, he got on the dirt bike trying to go just as fast as he did on the quad.
Yep.
just
I had a pro like mentality.
Yep.
And didn't have the pro skills.
beginner level.
Would have loved.
Like I literally, I wanted to beat Super Naw. Like that when I went on the track, I'm like,
Keyword.
I'm going to be as fast as him.
Keyword want.
I never did. I never did, but that was my problem. And then finally,
Gave her hell trying.
I had to just realize, all right,
One finger, a leg,
Yep.
humerus, collarbone,
Back.
knee, back,
Yep.
all of it.
That'll happen. Dude, I just realized. Pretty sure I have a jersey in the car because I brought clean gear with me when I left the house because I thought I was going to the track.
Fuck yeah. All right.
nice.
We got to wrap this thing up, boys.
How long was that?
3 hours and 16 minutes.
That flew by.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
It's been a good episode. Thanks for coming by, Chan.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Glad I could finally
Welcome to
make
come
it.
back anytime.
Heck yeah.
Good luck for the rest of the year.
Thank
well,
you.
Good luck.
this upcoming year.
Yeah, we look forward to watching you.
Yeah.
See what you can do, and
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll let Diggin know you're coming for him.
Yeah.
Let him know.
Got him on speed dial, one of those buttons over there.
Yeah. We'll be rooting for you. But anyways, episode 22. Back for another one. We'll see you next time. Pit racing, boy.